Across the UK, online and on DAB. Access all radios.
Talk Radio. Give it some lip. Talk Radio.
Thank you, chaps. Evening, Iain Lee. I tell you what we're going to do tonight. We're going to do an old-fashioned radio show. No Periscope, no texts, no tweets, nothing. Just me and you phoning in. Is it going to work? I don't know.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Little fella, you're so tired, you can hardly lift your head, but you wanna hear a story before you go to bed. So if you'll be quiet and listen patiently, I'll sing you a song that my mother sang to me. Little cowboy, put your saddle in the barn, tie your horse up tight so we'll know no harm. Put your hat and your guns beside you on the chair. Don't forget you got to say a little prayer. Little cowboy, you better hit the Sandman Trail or you'll be late for round the time, you know. If you wanna be a cowboy, you better rest a while. Little cowboy baby of the old corral. Little cowboy baby of the old corral.
So it turns out that Harry Nilsson is actually a flipping genius. Who would have thought? Well, loads of you would have thought. We've got a guy coming on tomorrow, a bloke called Alan Shipton, who's written a book about Harry Nilsson. And I have tried Harry Nilsson in the past, and I've struggled. 0844 499 1000, by the way. I have struggled. But I got the Harry Nilsson box set, and I'm reading this book, and he's such a fascinating man that I have tried Harry Nilsson again. And it turns out he's flipping brilliant. I've done the first 2.5 albums. So what's that? Aerial Ballet. Ballet? How would you say ballet? Oh yeah, that's it. Aerial, it's like saying Metal Guru. Metal Guru. Aerial Ballet. Aerial Ballet. Aerial Ballet. Pandemonium Shadow Show. Is that what it's called? Something like that. I don't remember the exact titles. And, Harry. And he's amazing. Now, I've got to the part in the book where he's ruined his voice. Cocaine and booze, guys. Here's the thing. Cocaine and booze, guys. By the way, did the Welsh gentleman who wants to replace Jeremy Corbyn, I don't know anybody's names these days, 0844 499 1000, actually have to apologise for saying something about the new Prime Minister lady whose name escapes, Theresa May? He said he was going to knock her back on her heels, and he had to apologise for that. Oh, sweet Lord, really? Is that what we've become? He's having to apologise for making a powerful speech where he said he would knock her back on his heels? Oh, for goodness sakes. Now, I don't know anything about this gentleman. His name is Owen, not Wilson, Smith. Let's say Owen Smith until we get something better, okay? By the way, anytime you want to interrupt this flow, guys, 0844 499 1000. I didn't really think anything of him. And until I heard him speaking on the radio today for the first time. And I genuinely thought, oh yeah, he sounds quite good. I think I'd vote for him. Huh? Just because he sounded, Welsh. Because he sounded Welsh, man. And they've done studies, haven't they? That the Welsh accent is the most trusted accent in the British Isles. And there was a thing a few years ago where lots of companies were setting up their call centres in Wales because people trusted the Welsh accent. 0844 499 1000, we call you back. And I heard him on the radio and I thought, oh yeah, I could quite vote for him. I didn't like him before. I'd made up my mind he was a bit of a smarmy get, you know? bit of a smarmy get. And then I heard him on the radio, and I thought, oh yeah, I'd vote for that. Just purely based on his voice. But now he's had to apologise for saying he'd knock Theresa May back on her heels. First of all, I don't even know what that means. Second of all, what's he got to apologise for that for? You know why he's done it? He's what we used to call in the olden days a pussy. That's what that would imply, is he has somehow, oh no, people are getting offended, I better apologise. And I've done that. And sometimes it's easier to apologise than to carry on with your conviction. Sometimes you think, you know what, some battles ain't worth fighting. I'll apologise, get this out of the way, and then we'll steam on. But I'd knock Theresa May back on her heels. No, I wouldn't. I'm sorry. I don't think so, guys. I don't think so. 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. Yes, Alan!
Hip, hip, hip!
Hip, 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 Alan. So tonight we are trying, and I may regret this, a revolution in radio broadcasting. We're going to try something new and different and unique.
Tell me more.
No computers.
No Periscope?
No Periscope.
So it's back to the old days.
No Periscope, no Twitter, no Facebook, no emails, no texts even. It's me, sat in a studio, armed only with the newspapers, my wits, and your phone calls, guys. Now! If people don't phone in tonight, we are buggered.
All right.
Yes, you see, I haven't got Kath here to fall back on. It's me, we've got Emma and Ed, but it's me, my wits, and some newspapers. And I'll let you into a little secret, Alan.
Okay.
I'm feeling a bit lonely tonight.
Yeah.
And I got a bit of a headache.
Oh, no.
So, tonight could be... what's that song? This could be the night... The night I've got quite a nice voice when you come to think on it, haven't I?
You have to come to karaoke on a Friday night.
No, I won't do that. No, because what they do with karaoke, here's the thing, right? The compression that they put on your voices in karaoke, it ruins your voice.
Yeah.
They make it... First of all of the songs are in the wrong key, right? They're in like a generic key, right?
Yeah.
And secondly, they put this weird compression on your voice. So, I'm an excellent singer. Right?
Probably to do with the mixer.
So, do with the mixer. I'm an excellent singer, yet when I sing at karaoke, I sound rubbish.
Yeah.
And it's all to do with the compression and the FX. I love the word FX because it means effects, but in many ways, it's an FX itself to make a word out of... To use two letters to make the word effects. Do you understand what I'm saying, Alan?
Yeah, I do, definitely.
It's special effects is actually the word special effects is actually a special effect.
I mean, 40 years ago, it was all models and man-made.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's all about computer effects.
Ray Harryhausen, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know because I can't Google it. Ray Harryhausen. We're having to go by my wits tonight, guys.
Yeah.
This ship, the instruments have gone down. We are sailing this ship at night using the wind and the stars to guide us.
And a sextant.
Nothing sexy about that.
No, you're talking about a navigation.
Sextant, a navigation. Yes.
Yeah.
A navigation.
Any news on the Observer?
Well, there's plenty of news in the Observer, Alan. It's a newspaper.
Well, I may be mentioned.
Oh, well, that'll be, I think, I was given the impression it would be this weekend. For those who don't know, I was interviewed by the excellent Miranda Sawyer, by her book, Out of Time, about radio. I'll be 2 lines in it, right?
Yeah.
But I mentioned Alan Caddick and Nigel from Maidstone, and they may get mentioned. Hey, here's the thing, right? God, blimey, we were 11 minutes into the show and I'm already on to my 16th thought.
Yeah.
So, you know I didn't get asked to do Celebrity Big Brother this year.
Oh, that starts tomorrow night, doesn't it?
It starts tomorrow night, and unless And unless they're trying to secure a shed load of money and they're going to make a large... I don't know how it works. Do they... I always thought they would make the booking of the celebrities for Celebrity Big Brother a couple of weeks in advance. Is there a chance they might call you on the day? Is that to keep it hush-hush?
No chance, because they usually start booking up 3 months in advance. Well, normal Big Brother's on.
Yeah, I had the meeting with them about 3 months ago, before normal Big Brother started, and they were all full of... I met them, right? You have to meet them in a cafe near their building, right? Yeah. And they're all nice, and they're all like, "Oh, we think you'd be great in the Big Brother house. What would you do if there was an argument?" And you go, "Well, I'd steam in there and I'd stir it up." "How would you treat the Americans?" "Oh, I'd be really rude to..." You do all that, right?
Yeah.
And in the meeting for Celebrity Big Brother, they go, "Oh, we think you'd be good in the house, Iain. We think you'd be great. We think you'd add character and colour." And I said, "And vim and vigour." And they went, "Right. Well, we think we're going to ask you to be in it. We've got to see a few more people. We'll get back to you."
Yeah.
They didn't get back to me. But if you read...
Probably saving it for another series.
If you read the Star newspaper... Is the Star owned by Richard Desmond?
Yes.
Right. Well, then the Star
and
is...
the Express.
Yeah. Then the Star is always spot on with their leaks about Big Brother because they own Big Brother, right?
I read something about Biggins going into the house.
No, I tell you who's going in.
Yeah? An exclusive.
James Whale.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, James Whale. James Whale.
A talk radio legend.
Well, wouldn't it be weird if he came back here? Never going to happen.
Well, no. Well, they've had experience in the past with George Galloway.
Yeah, it's true. Wouldn't it be interesting if James Whale came back here? Never going to happen.
Oh, no. I think he's doing an internet show somewhere.
No, he's on BBC Local Radio. Right? It might happen. Anyway, so they've got James Whale, and they've got the list of all the other Big Brother people, right?
Yeah, let's hear who's in the house.
Well, Sam Fox, beautiful.
Yeah, glamorous, pay-free model.
But then I don't know anyone else. Saira Khan.
Never heard of her.
Colin Newell.
No, never heard of him.
Frankie Grande.
Never heard of him.
Katie Weasel.
Hang on, I remember Katie Weasel. She was a former contestant on the X Factor.
All right. And Grant Bovey. Now, we all know Grant Bovey, don't we? He was the butler for Princess Diana.
And Andrea Turner's ex-husband.
Andrea Turner's ex-husband, yes. So they're going in. And Whale. But not me.
Well, Biggins.
Biggins is going in. I didn't read out all of them. But yes, so that's that. And we started this conversation with something relevant, and I can't for the life of me think what. Oh, yeah. So, tonight's show, dear listener, no Periscope, no Twitter, no texts even, phone calls. It's me, my wits, the newspapers, and you, dear listener, on the phone calls. And if you don't phone in, and sometimes we get quiet nights, well, I'll just sit here and talk for 3 hours.
And I watched the classic Monkeys episode.
Oh, yeah, which one?
The Christmas special.
Oh, what? It's July.
No, I watched it on my YouTube.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, you're allowed to do that online. My Monkeys Blu-ray box set arrived today.
Yeah.
All the episodes remastered in HD for the first time with a disc 10 full of bonus unseen features.
Oh, nice one.
I'm watching that at the weekend. I'm watching that all weekend.
Are you going to teach the boys about the Monkeys?
The boys know musically about the Monkeys. They know about the Stepping Stone video where they're in the hospital. They don't know much about the episodes. Yes! I will be teaching them.
Ah, nice one.
Alan, it's been brought to my attention previously. But here's the thing. Apparently, I bang on too much about the Monkeys. So...
You're a super fan.
Yeah, I know. But I allow myself 30 seconds Monkeys chat a night, and then I stop. And now I have to stop. So I'm going to say goodbye, Alan.
Bid you soon.
Tutty bye. So we're going to try it. I've had it too easy the last couple of days. We had a couple of ropey shows last week, then we had two brilliant shows this week, Monday and Tuesday. Is it Wednesday? Yes. So Kat's not here. We've got Emma in here, but I'm going to have a darn good crack at this. No computers, no internet, no texts, no emails, no Twitter, no Periscope. It's an old-fashioned radio show. I am sat in a darkened studio. The lights are off. The fan's off. I need to change that. The lights are off. I've got 3 screens in front of me lit up with the phone number, your phone calls, and my music. And that's it. And we're here until 1 o'clock. So, you want to play? Good. 0844 499 1000. We call you back. So, the song I played at the start of the show is Harry Nilsson, right? Now, Harry Nilsson is now my new obsession. It will last 20 minutes, but I've got another obsession coming up, which I may tell you about later on. I may not, as it's slightly dubious. But the Harry Nilsson song, Little Cowboy, from, I don't know, one of the albums, one of the first 2 albums, I'm not sure. I'm kind of thinking of making into the theme tune for this show. It's quite dour and downbeat, but I just think it's a nice little tune. And we will see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Let's go to Jonathan. Evening, Jonathan.
Evening.
Hip, 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 Jonathan.
Evening.
Thank you very much indeed for taking part. What have you got for us?
Well, I sort of agree with you when you talk about Owen Smith being a pussy.
Yeah.
First of all, what he actually said was that he would smash Theresa May onto her high heels.
Nothing wrong with that.
Apparently, all these special little snowflakes are offended by that because it's apparently a sexual reference.
Okay. I don't like the term snowflake because because I was called a snowflake the other day, and I don't get what it means. It seems to just mean that you've got feelings, and there's nothing wrong with having feelings and being able to be upset by things. I don't like that term.
Well, feelings are overrated. There's a place for them.
Well, you would say that, but you would say that because you like to pretend you don't have any feelings for whatever reason, for whatever happened in your childhood. You like to pretend you don't have any feelings, but you are wrong on that, Jonathan. Feelings are not overrated. Feelings are what makes this world go round, because feelings are hatred and love and passion and fear and loneliness. They're what makes us human. So you're completely wrong on that. Secondly, I don't think he should have. That doesn't sound like a sexual phrase. I know quite a few sexual phrases.
I don't think it is either. I agree with you there, but the worst thing he did was apologise for it. Not only did he do nothing wrong in that regard, but when you apologise, even if you should apologise, it actually pours gasoline on the flames, and it just ignites, and it becomes a vicious feeding frenzy of people who are out for your blood. They see it as a confession of guilt, and like a Stalinist witch hunt, they just intensify their attacks on you.
Yes, I think one should only apologise if one truly sees that one has made an error and wishes to in some way correct that error. Saying that, I've apologised in the past because I've just thought, do you know what? The hassle I'm going to get for this is too much. It's easier to apologise than it is to go through all the hassle. So I'm kind of guilty of having to apologise. The last time I apologised on air was when I'd offended this Christian community by calling them all bigots, and the BBC said they've complained. If you apologise, we'll make sure this complaint goes away. So I apologised, and guess what? They sacked me. So,
never trust the BBC.
Not never. I still hold the BBC in a lot of high regard, but I do think that a significant number of people who work there are bellends. But including my old boss. I don't quite see why he should have That's not a sexual phrase. Who said it's a sexual phrase? I know, like, smash the back door in is a sexual phrase. He didn't say that about her, did he?
No. But even if he had, so what? People are electing him on the basis of his policies, not his colourful language.
Yes, but if he'd said, "I'm going to smash Theresa May's back doors in," that would be inappropriate. That would be misogynistic and sexually aggressive, and that is inappropriate.
I don't care whether...
No, I know you don't. And
people choose to be offended all too easily.
Well, offence is an interesting one. Yes, offence doesn't always necessarily mean anything, but it would be inappropriate for somebody who would like to become the Britain's Prime Minister, the Prime Minister of Britain, to throw around sexually violent phrases like the one I just said.
I think Owen Smith's got bigger problems than what he said today.
What are Owen Smith's bigger problems, Jonathan?
He's a Labour MP.
Right, and you found out his Twitter handle and you're about to start trolling him. Is that what you're suggesting?
I don't care about this Owen Smith. He's going to lose anyway, so why bother?
He is going to lose.
Corbyn's the best thing that's ever happened to Britain because he is doing what I've been dreaming of for the past 20 years.
What, murdering people? Murdering women?
No, destroying the Labour Party.
Okay.
I think he's a wonderful asset to Western civilization, Corbyn.
Do you agree with me?
Get knighted.
Okay. And back to reality. Do you agree with me that the Welsh accent is the most trustworthy accent in the British Isles?
No.
Oh.
No. In fact, never trust the Welsh.
Yati, that's Greek for why?
Why? Because they always backstab their allies. They always whine and complain and blame others for their own misfortunes and their own bad actions. The bigotry towards the English is, it's on a par with what Palestinians have for Jews and the Nazis have for Jews as well.
No, well, except it's not. Because that's a ridiculous thing to say.
But it's true.
Well, but Jonathan, it's not. That is, I mean, come on, man. You spoke some complete and utter balls in this conversation so far. But to compare the Welsh attitude to the English as the same as the way the Jews treat the Palestinians and the Nazis treated the Jews.
Palestinians treat the Jews.
All right. Either way, that's absolute bullshine, and you know it is.
No, it ain't. Look through
where is your head at? I really struggle, Jonathan, to work out how much of what you say is an act, how much of what you say is a mental illness, and I don't use that phrase lightly, and how much of what you say you actually genuinely believe. I like to think it's 20% act, 60% mental illness, and 20% you believe. Now, you'll say, oh, no, it's 100%. I'm a misanthrope. I hate everybody. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. But I genuinely think you're... here's a phrase that some people don't like, but I'm going to say it. I genuinely think that you're damaged goods. And I'm going to end that sentence there.
I don't care.
No, I know. And that must be so tiring for you.
No, not really.
How many friends have you got?
Not many.
Yeah.
No, I don't trust many people.
No.
They let me down.
How do they let you down, Jonathan?
If they say they're going to be somewhere or do something, and it never happens, I just think, oh, God, I'm being taken advantage of here, so...
Who's taken advantage of you?
Well, people will always try and take advantage.
Well, who? Who's done that? Who's done that in your life?
Lots of people.
For example?
Well, I don't. I try not to surround myself with those type of people.
Well, but
for a long time.
Your mum?
I don't like a horrible creature.
Why? What did your mum do to let you down?
Some of it I can't say because it's legal.
Right.
But she was just a bad mother, and she had me far too early.
Right.
And that's no excuse for the mistakes I've made in my life. But
no, we have to take responsibility for our own mistakes. Of course we do.
Oh yeah, I agree with you there, 100%.
What about your dad, Jonathan? How did he let you down?
Well, it's not so much a dad, more like a short list.
What does that mean?
Well, I don't know who my dad is. Mother told me one thing. Other people told me another thing, and I don't really care at this point. I just think...
But you do care, though, don't you?
No.
Deep down, you'd love to know who your dad is.
I have thought about it, but I've decided that, no, it's not worth the trouble.
Yeah, it would be a lot of trouble to find out, wouldn't it?
You know what? I'm not nostalgic for a father I've never had.
No. Must be curious, though.
I would rather concentrate on the future, saving Western civilization being the top priority.
But wouldn't you want your dad to know that you wanted to save Western civilization? Because that would be something for him to be proud of, wouldn't it?
I don't think it would be like that. I think he'd probably be a degenerate.
If one of my kids' greatest mission in life was to save Western civilization, I'd be really proud of them. Even if they were going about it in a way that I perceived as being slightly skewy, I'd be really proud if that was their main mission in life. Wouldn't you like to have an older man feeling proud of you?
No, I'd rather be a man.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is how I'd like to leave this wretched planet. My ideal scenario would be on a battlefield, say somewhere around London, and I take out, I don't know how many enemy combatants, and then some treacherous little weasel from behind stabs me in the back.
Okay, we've gone off
and
into
before
Fantasyland.
I die, I take him out with me.
Yeah.
And then I can die happy.
Okay, well, we've gone back off into Fantasyland, Jonathan, so thank you very much for that. Wasn't that interesting? We had about 2.5 minutes of Jonathan there. 2.5 minutes of your actual Jonathan from Swansea there, not the character that he's created, not the, and I don't think I'm going too far out on a limb when I say mental illness, not the illness, not the fantasist. We had a little glimpse there, didn't we? We shall keep scratching away at those layers of paint and see if we can see what colour the wood is underneath. 0844 499 1000. We call you back. Matt and Ben, stay there. This is Talk Radio. 0844 499 1000. If you've just tuned in to the Periscope and going, well, I can't see nothing, it's because it's not on. I thought tonight we would have a go at doing a good old-fashioned, well, it may not be good, but an old-fashioned radio show, even though some of you will be listening on your smartphones and on your computers, talkradio.co.uk, or some may be listening on your DABs. A good old-fashioned radio show where there are no texts, no emails, no Twitters, no Periscope, none of that stuff. I'm not Googling anything. I'm playing some songs from my computer, but, I'm going to allow that little cheat. It's just me, you, and our wits, and the newspapers if we need them, and conversation. Yeah? I think that might work. 0844 499 1000. If you're a new listener, by the way, and you're waiting for me to throw out the topics for you to call in, it don't work like that. It's a show, unlike any other show on the radio at the moment, unfortunately. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I hope we get some decent competition at some point, but right now, I ain't, right? This isn't a show where I sit here and go, right, well, today we're going to talk about the jihadis. And, by the way, great name for a band if anybody wants to start it, if anybody wants to take that risk. And then we'll talk about, I don't even know what's going on in the world. Should Owen Smith have to apologise? All of that. We don't do that. I kind of sit here. I fire out things that are in my head and that have happened to me today. And you can latch on to those and call in about those. Or you can call in about stuff that's going on in your head. And if you want to talk about the stuff that's in the news, fine. It's kind of like, and Ben, Matt, Ray, stay there. I can see John and Rashid calling in as well. Do call in 0844 499 1000. You'll speak to Emma and she will take your details and call you back. It's like a conversation in a bar where you'll meet your friends in a bar and you'll say, flipping it, I had a terrible journey and you're not going to believe it, right? There was some fella on the train and, he was, just shouting nonsense. And then your friend will go, oh, that reminds me, actually, that I had to buy, my wife bought a new car last week. And, it's red. And my mum would always say, never buy a red car. And then the barman will start joining in and it works like that. And that's kind of how I see this show. It's a conversation in a bar or in a cafe or a bus stop or whatever. And you're welcome to kind of come and join in as you see fit and raise your own points. 0844 499 1000. Matt's on the line. Evening, Matt.
How you doing? All right?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Matt. What you got?
I don't know. I got a bit carried away because you were talking about Harry Nilsson and I just phoned up.
Yeah, go on. Are you a Harry Nilsson fan?
I was introduced to him about 12 years ago, and he's good, isn't he, old Harry?
He's good. Here's a tip. Listen to tomorrow's show, because at 10 o'clock we've got Alan Shipton coming on, who wrote a brilliant biography of Harry Nilsson. He knows everything about him, so listen to that.
I was thinking about getting that, but
it's brilliant.
But I'll wait till... But have you got the point? With Mickey Dolenz and Davy Jones?
Yes, I have. I've got the Point soundtrack. Yeah, I've got that, which is brilliant.
What, the original one or the one with Mickey?
Well, I've got both, but yes, I've got the Mickey Dolenz, the one with the monkeys on. Yes.
It's not that good, is it?
I don't like the orchestral, the pieces with the chorus, but I do like the songs that Dolenz sings. I think "Gotta Get Up" is awesome, and it's a jungle out there, and Bath. I think they're brilliant.
But Gotta Get Up and Bath aren't actually on the Point originally.
No,
they're just covers of Harry songs, aren't they?
But Matt, hang on. You just asked me if I had a specific album.
I did.
I said yes, and then I picked 3 songs off of the album, and you went, "Oh yeah, but they're not off the original album." No, I know, but they're off the album you asked me about.
That is true.
That is true.
See, I said I got nothing.
No. What is it about Nilsson that you like? Nilsson, not Nielsen. Nilsson was the murderer. Nilsson is the singer.
Dennis and I don't know. I was very drunk when I got introduced to him.
Okay, are you very drunk now?
No, I'm not. No,
are you stoned or something?
If only. It's Wednesday.
If only it's Wednesday. Is it dry out there? Is everybody dry? Is there a drought?
It is for me.
Good.
It is for me.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Oh, good Lord, no.
No!
No, so all I was just trying to say, Harry's great. And you said you were listening to the first 3 albums, but wasn't his third album actually Aerial Pandemonium Ballad?
Oh, hang on, right, what was his first
remix album?
Oh, the remix. I'm not bothered about the remix. No.
Is that not canon?
That doesn't count in my thing. No, I've done Aerial Ballet, Pandemonium Shadow Show, and I'm halfway through Harry, and it's beautiful.
All right.
And he's about to get...
Nilsson sings next, man?
That's number 4, isn't it, I think?
I think, that's next, isn't it? Yeah.
Nilsson sings Newman, yeah. Get the book, man. Get the book. It's brilliant. And it's sad. His descent into booze, primarily brandy.
Alexander's.
Yeah, brandy Alexander's and cocaine is terrifying. The way he goes from this beautiful young man with this amazing voice to this shambolic...
You can hear his descent, can't you?
Well, yeah, to this shambolic fat old man with long, dirty hair and no voice whatsoever.
And a lot of dressing gowns.
A lot of dressing gowns, man. So it's surprising that... I know a lot of rock stars died in the 70s. It's surprising any of them made it into the 80s with the amount of drugs and booze they were consuming.
Oh, have you seen that Beatles footage, the Beatles convention, where he's singing?
No, I haven't.
It's on YouTube. There's a 1984 Beatles convention, and it's him doing, the Beatles medley that he does.
Yeah, we played that the other night. Yeah.
He does that in a Beatles 1984, and he's a fat bearded old man. It's terrible.
Before he died, if I remember this story correctly, and the book will point it out to me if I'm wrong. All right, he was skint. And he would go, but he was a hard worker, and he would go to all of these advertising companies and try and sell the rights to his songs for adverts so that he could feed his family. Sad, isn't it?
That's terrible.
Sad.
Because...
he's Harry Nilsson. Matt, listen, thank you for that. I can't believe I've come to him so late in my life, and it's great. It's great. At the age of 43, Elizabeth, you'll be next, then it'll be Ben, then it'll be Ray. At the age of 43, it turns out there is more music for me to discover, which is brilliant. I often joke, I've got all the bands I need. I don't need any more bands or singers, right? But then Harry Nilsson just dropped into my life. Beautiful! And do you know what that means? That means there might be even more music out there for me to discover. 0844 499 1000. No Periscope, no tweets, no texts, nothing like that. Just your phone calls and me. 0844 499 1000. James, Ben, Ray, stay there. I'll come to you in a second. Elizabeth is first. Good evening, Elizabeth.
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, hip, hip.
Hey.
Hey, Elizabeth. How's it going, man?
I'm a bit Flemish tonight. I don't know what that's about, and I've got yellow feet.
You're a bit Flemish?
Yeah.
Flemish is a place, isn't it? Or it's a language, at least.
Really? I mean, like, do you know what I mean?
You mean Flemmy from Motorhead?
Yeah.
Flemish is a language that they speak in Belgium, and I believe. Now, I'm going to say something that I don't know if it's real or not, but I'm going to say it with conviction as though it were real, and we'll see.
Right.
I believe the Belgians and the Walloons speak Flemish. I think the Walloons is a thing. I think the Walloons are a race of people.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I'm a Walloon now.
I think
I'm
you're a massive Walloon, you big Walloon.
I don't really know why I've got yellow feet, though.
That's because you're dying.
Oh.
Yeah. That can't be good. Yellow feet. Have you been, what have you been doing with your feet?
I don't know. I've bought all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, foot masks and stuff.
Foot masks?
Put them on to, like, soothe them. Because I've got the worst feet in the world, Ian, seriously. Oh my God, they make children cry. They're awful.
Why are you
so I
showing
bought
your
all
feet
this
to children?
peppermint. I bought all this peppermint stuff.
Yeah.
Like scrubs and stuff. And it's to no avail. I've got the worst hard skin. So this is why, boys.
Go and see, and they don't call them chiropodists anymore, and I hate saying podiatrists, but we have to. It's the law. You want it out of Europe? Well, now we got podiatry instead of chiropody.
Why can't we say chiropody anymore?
Because it's not a thing anymore. It's been outlawed. Now it's podiatry.
Is it like the Better Wear catalogue? It's just a bit 80s.
Yeah, and we're not really meant to say opticians. They're ophthalmists. And we're not really meant to say Belgians. We're meant to say Walloons.
It's political correctness gone mad.
Yay! Elizabeth, say hello to James.
Hey, James.
Hello, Elizabeth.
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, hip, hip.
James, you're listening live. Now, James is a podcaster.
Ooh.
Ooh. And you're actually... Why are you listening live to us, James?
Because I'm awake for once.
Why?
I usually listen to the podcast because I'm a cheater.
Yeah.
But I'm awake. I'm actually sat in traffic outside the National Gallery on Trafalgar Square.
It's all right for some.
Sorry, Elizabeth.
So I thought I'd give you a call.
It's all right for some.
It's all right for... Well, hang on a minute. You're saying that, Elizabeth, as though being stuck inside traffic... Yes, the National Gallery is glamorous, but you may have misheard the bit where he said he's stuck in traffic outside it. He's not enjoying the art.
Well, I've been in Birkenhead all day.
Well, what have you been doing in Birkenhead, apart from having manky yellow feet?
I've got a new job, haven't I? Because I'm saving up to move back down to London.
I didn't know.
I work in a call centre.
I didn't know you had a new job. It's all right. It's all right for some.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Should we see what James has called in for?
Go on.
Yeah, go on then. Let's go. James, what have you called in for?
I called in to see how you were. I thought I'd do it on the radio.
Okay, guys. Spoiler alert. It's my friend James Buckley, who came in. I say friend. We've only ever spoken to each other once.
Well, that's it. This is it. I think. Listen, I had such a great time when I came on the show last time, and I want to be mates with you.
Me, James.
He's such a lovely guy.
Elizabeth, shut up. He's saying nice things about me. Can't I have 20 seconds of niceness about me on my show, please?
Sorry.
For those who missed it, James came in before for the whole show, and it was a lot of fun, as they say. Well, when are you coming in again?
Mate, hopefully the end of August, if you'll have me.
Yeah, you're
like the last couple of weeks in August.
Open invitation. You can come in any time you want. Of course you can. And you're the only person I'm saying that to. Before all the listeners start going, oh, can I come in? No, you can't. Only James can come in. It's a
shame. It's a shame because I'd recommend it. It's really therapeutic. It was, honestly, it was soul cleansing. Because nobody knows who I am really. Nobody knows who I am. If you say James Buckley, no one knows who I am. If you said Jay from the In-Betweeners, people will probably know who I am.
Yeah.
But nobody knows who I am, and that was the first time in sort of a public forum where I was being myself and chatting with people, and I just really enjoyed it. It was great.
We are just going back a second. We are going to do a show at some point. We found because Virgin Radio is downstairs. Get this, Elizabeth. Virgin Radio is downstairs, right? So we share a building with Virgin and with TalkSport and all this stuff. And downstairs, the Virgin Radio lot, they've got like a little space where they do sessions with bands. And me and Catherine saw this the other day, and we went, oh. And we said to the Virgin Radio people, is this all set up? Could you do a live show from here? They went, yeah. I said, do you get audiences in? They went, yeah. So at some point, we're going to investigate doing doing the show from downstairs in the Virgin Radio session room and invite listeners just to come and rock up and sit in and be part of the show.
Well, that's it. You're blurring the lines now between radio host and rock star there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Everybody who's a comedian, and Elizabeth, I know you're a comedian as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I do stand up and podcast.
You wanted to be a rock star, didn't you?
I wanted to be an All Saint.
A what? An all thing?
I wanted to be an All Saint. All Saint.
Oh, an All Saint. They said an orphan. Yeah, exactly. And James, I bet I'm slightly different because you're an actor, but I bet you wanted to be a rock star, didn't you? At some point.
Yeah, I was in a band before I started.
Were you really?
Yeah.
What kind of stuff were you playing? Like 60s stuff, I bet.
We were like a really bad Oasis.
I knew he was going to say a 90s kind of band. I knew he was.
Yeah.
And he would go and perform the entire Moseley Shoals album live from start to finish. I did not know that. And I think this is the thing with and I started out in comedy and I wanted to be a rock star. And most comedians wanted to be rock stars. And it's a much better job than being a comedian or being an actor or doing this nonsense. Of course it's a much better job. Yeah, you get more money, you got screaming fans, you only have to work an hour and a half a night, there's better booze, better drugs, everything gets paid for. Don't do drugs, kids, I have to say, because my boss thinks I encourage drug taking on the show, which I don't. And it will be a much better life. And we've all ended up somehow doing this kind of nonsense.
The problem is people who are comedians, comedic actors. I guess I'm a comedic actor, I suppose. You have to be into comedy. You sort of have to be self-aware, and I think you have to be the opposite if you want to be a rock star.
Yeah.
You can't. I don't think. I think people who are comedians know what's going on around them, and they know what they're doing in that moment. Because usually it will become an anecdote that they will regale on stage. But rock stars, I think, could just think they're rock stars and just.
It is an attitude.
That's the only way they can operate, I guess.
It is an attitude, isn't it? Do you remember, James? I know you're significantly younger than me, but in the 90s. When everyone was going, comedy's the new rock and roll, comedy's the new rock and roll, and you would have people like Newman and Baddiel, Rob Newman and David Baddiel, I think.
Vic and Bob.
Vic and Bob, but Newman and Baddiel, I think, were the first comedians to do a comedy show in an arena. They played Wembley Arena, and it was, for a moment, everyone did believe that comedy was the new rock and roll, and there were comedy clubs opening up everywhere. If you had a tiny room above a pub or in a restaurant, then there would be a comedy club and someone would come and put on open nights and stuff like that. But it's kind of, I don't know where I'm going with this point, so I'm going to stopped.
No, I know what you mean. It's sort of, I felt that things were promised to me if I got into comedy. When I was sort of, when the In-Betweeners was first coming out, things like the Mighty Boosh were really big.
Yeah.
And those two guys are basically comedic rock stars, and everybody loves them. And I was like, wow, this is what my life's going to be like. But really, what it is just sitting in traffic. I've moved maybe 20 yards. I'm still on Trafalgar Square. If anyone wants to come and say hello to me on Trafalgar Square,
don't, mate. You can't listen. We cannot give out the location of celebrities because you'll be like Bernie Ecclestone's mother-in-law has been kidnapped, for crying out loud. They'll be after you, James, and I'm not paying a ransom.
Yeah, I think people will assume that there isn't much money to be made in kidnapping me.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So I'm safe.
Okay.
In a way.
But everything's all right. Are you busy? Are you doing anything at the moment?
Yeah, I've just finished doing a new TV show with Baby Cow and Steve Coogan.
Oh, fantastic!
So that's good. That's not what I called up for, anyway. Like, I feel bad for saying that now.
No, don't at all. Because I am a geek and I'm genuinely interested. But
I'm a comedy geek too. So tell me.
Are you allowed to tell us anything about it, or do you not want to? You don't have to if you don't want to.
I'm probably allowed to tell anything, but I actually don't want to, because I'm genuinely just calling up to see how you are.
Fine. Do you know what? All right, very briefly then, if you ask, let's have an honest answer. How am I? I'm missing Catherine, who's not here because she's away for a couple of weeks, and I always feel very anxious and we've got Emma and Ed working on the show, who are excellent. But I'm always anxious when Catherine, my producer, is not here. How am I? I'm tired. I'm feeling a little bit lonely, and I started to write a heartfelt open email to my sister today explaining where I am in my life, and then halfway through it I just went, I can't write this today, goodbye, and I did that. Yeah. So there's stuff I need to address and I'm hesitant to address it. There you go, that's how I am.
Well, that's fine.
You always say, Larry, you always say, none of this matters.
None of this matters. None of this matters. You're absolutely right. James, let's send me a text. You come in whenever you want, mate. It's an open door for you.
Love it.
Enjoy your traffic round Trafalgar Square. It's all right for some, isn't it, Elizabeth, eh?
I know.
It's all right for some. See you later, James.
See you, mate.
Bye, James.
Bye-bye. It's all right. How the other half live, Elizabeth?
I know, I'm jealous now.
He says he's stuck in traffic. What he didn't tell you was he's in the back of one of those big white stretch limos with the pink neon lights underneath, and he's got girls, and he's got Jack Daniels and Coke, and he's probably got a 3D TV in the back playing PlayStation 5 in there. So it's a little bit different to what we'd be experiencing, isn't it?
I know.
Did we get to your point, Elizabeth? I think it was about your horrible yellow feet, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know what else to do, and it's my parents' wedding anniversary at the weekend. It's just all too stressful, Ian.
Elizabeth, I hope your feet get better, and I hope your parents have a lovely wedding anniversary. Ray, stay there. You've been waiting for ages, but Ben has been waiting even longer. Yes, Ben.
Well, I'm not the kind to kiss and tell, but I've been seen with Farrah. How are you, Ian?
Oh, is this? Hello, Ben. Yes, I'm great, thank you.
Did a certain moon pig arrive today?
Yes, a card arrived today. Yes.
And are you happy with it?
Well, I mean, happy is a strong word. A card arrived today. Thank you for sending a card.
And you accept my apology?
I accept your apology, yes.
But you seem hesitant. What was the problem with the card?
There was no problem with the card.
Oh, excellent. So we're tight. Excellent.
I'm going to smash your back door in a minute.
What have I done?
No, nothing.
What have I done?
Nothing. No, we are tight.
No, but you like the card.
I know. I didn't. Yeah. Well, no, I expressed no opinion on the card. A card arrived. Apology accepted. We're cool.
£3. I think it was about £3.80.
Right. What's that got to do with me?
No, I'm just saying that I thought there was pretty good value for the fact that it's allowed me to apologise to you for £3.80. I think that's pretty.
Well, you could have apologised for free.
Or with flowers. I thought of getting flowers. Actually.
No, that's weird. The card was a little bit weird, if I'm completely honest.
Now, I've just been reading Nilsson's biography.
Oh yeah.
And those bodies, those bodies under the floorboards. I mean, that muzzle hill flat.
Yeah, now this is Dennis Nilsson we're talking about.
Yeah,
not
I'm afraid to say
Harry
that
Nilsson. You got the wrong.
I love Harry, but Dennis unfortunately had a flat in Muswell Hill, and they thought it was chicken bones that was blocking the drains.
Dennis Nilsson once winked or looked sexual, had a sexual look in his eye across the bar to one certain Mr. Jim Moyer, who later became Vic Reeves.
Yes, Vic Reeves could have been his next victim.
Yeah, he could have been. And Vic Reeves also made tea for the Yorkshire Ripper. I think that Mr. Moyer has some questions to answer.
I know. I've always found him a bit mysterious. He's got a very nice wife, though. He's got a lovely wife.
He's also one of the most charming gentlemen you could ever possibly hope to meet.
He really is, actually.
Yes.
If you go onto Google Images, you can find his wife standing in the middle of a London street in nothing but her underwear.
Okay, well, I won't do that, but thank you for the heads up.
And you like the cards. You are pleased with the cards.
No, the card. You see, I knew it. The card arrived. I have accepted the apology. I'm not saying I like the card. I'll put it straight in the bin if I'm honest.
Talk Radio.
An hour down. And what an hour. 2 more to go. Kyle, Darren, Ray, you'll be next. If you do listen and want to take part, now is an excellent time to call. We'll call you back, of course. 0844 499 1000. I'm Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio. Here's the news.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Little fella, you're so tired, you can hardly lift your head, but you wanna hear a story before you go to bed. So if you'll be quiet and listen patiently, I'll sing you a song that my mother sang to me. Little cowboy, put your saddle in the barn, tie your horse up tight so we'll know no harm. Put your hat and your guns beside you on the chair. Don't forget you got to say a little prayer. Little cowboy, you better hit the Sandman Trail or you'll be late for round the time, you know. If you wanna be a cowboy, you better rest a while. Little cowboy baby of the old corral. Little cowboy baby of the old corral.
0844 499 1000. I'm going to learn that on ukulele, and then we're all going to have a nice sing-along. How's about them apples? So, this is Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio. We're doing things a little bit differently today. Catherine's gone away, which is great for her. Emma and Ed are the crew stoking the engine at the bottom of the ship. Anyway, they're stoking the engine, and I'm trying to captain this thing as best I can. And I just thought it would be nice tonight, and we'll do this every once in a while if it works. And judging by the first hour, it seems to work. It certainly impacted on my attitude. So tonight we're just doing a phone-in radio show. Doesn't that sound simple? So there's no Periscope. There are no tweets, no texts, no emails. I'm not Googling anything. I've got my computer because I'm playing songs off it. And that's it. And I thought we'd have a go and see where that takes us. And I think certainly in that first hour, it's made me, and by default, the show, more focused. Because I'm not distracted by talking to the Periscopers or arguing with the tweeters or anything like that. So, if you want to take part in the show, if you want to have your say, you're going to have to pick up the telephone and call in. 0844 499 1000. 0844 499 1000. We call you in. What are we talking about? Well, we've talked about Harry Nilsson. We've talked about when comedy was being perceived as the new rock and roll. and everyone wanted to be a comedian. We've talked about yellow feet. And that's all I can think of. If you want to contribute on any of those things or your own thing, then 0844 499 1000. Let's go to Ray. Hello, Ray.
When the punter takes a tumble as a fool. Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, hip, hip. The big red building on Golders Green Road. I now regularly, my therapist is up in Hampstead. Yeah. So every Tuesday at approximately 12:15, I drive past the big red building on Golders Green Road. And here's the thing, Ray.
Yeah.
It's not that big. It's red. No. It's red. It's definitely red. It's not that big, though.
No, I've passed it many times myself. Never been in it.
No, I wouldn't. But it's disappointing.
Yeah. The other place I used to pass by was, do you remember the Chair Centre?
Oh, that was up in Arnos Grove, wasn't it?
That's right.
Yeah, I used to go out with a girl that lived up round there, and every time I heard that ad, that was a weird. And that I've also been driving past a lot today, Marouche.
Oh, yeah.
Quite a lot, isn't it funny? All adverts and other radio stations, by the way, so let's quickly
long gone.
Let's go to over. Anyway, Ray, sorry, you've been waiting for ages. What you got for us, boss?
Well, today, I kind of lost control when I was in a DIY store, because I just could not find what I was looking for.
Yes.
And my partner managed to disarm me by saying to me, none of this matters.
None of this matters.
And that's it. I just couldn't be mad anymore.
I wish I could remember that phrase and act on it as much as I would like to, because at the moment it feels like everything matters.
Yeah,
everything.
She was absolutely right.
Yeah.
That was me not able to find what I wanted, and she goes, none of this matters. I thought, you're right. It doesn't.
It doesn't matter at all. None of this matters. And, everything will be all right. I've got a nice day tomorrow. I've got the boys tomorrow, so I should get 6 hours sleep, which will be hard work, but that's fine. And, then I've got the boys all day, and if I'm lucky, I'll get an hour's kit before I come in to do this nonsense tomorrow. So, we shall see. Hey, I tell you what I saw today, Rush. I've been in London all day today doing my last laugh out loud voiceover and other bits and pieces.
Yeah.
And, I saw outside a property, the new phone book.
The new phone book?
The new phone book.
How does it differ?
Well, it's really, really tiny.
Oh, right, sort of like you could fit it in a handbag if you wanted.
Well, no, it wasn't quite that tiny. You could fit it in a man bag, but it was very, very thin.
Right, they've made it small, like that certain catalogue store has done.
Yeah, well, it looked more like it was thinner than your Thompson Local.
Yeah.
And it made me think, right, I didn't know people still got phone books, because we've not had one. We had one when we lived in London, actually. So we've not had one for about 3 years, right?
They've all got smaller. I've just noticed it. In fact, I've received one through the door just this week.
I remember being a kid, Ray, and we're of a similar age. I remember getting, where we used to live, you'd get phone books. There were so many phone numbers, and people had yet to discover the joys of being ex-directory, that you would have phone books, that you get 2 or 3 phone books. One would be A to M, and then the others would be
N. E to K, L to R, and S to Z.
Wait a minute, that's 4 phone books.
Yeah, back in the 70s they had 4 of them.
Flipping heck.
Yeah, London-wide.
But who uses... what?
Oh, so sorry, she's busting in.
Who's using phone books these days?
Yeah, no one uses them. Almost everyone is ex-directory.
Why? And it's BT that make it, and boy oh boy, the news about OpenReach recently has been interesting, because OpenReach is the worst customer service
ever.
Never
show up, do they?
Oh, they're awful. Yeah, I'd like to get broadband installed. Yeah, we can fit you in on Thursday the 12th. Thursday isn't the 12th. No, that's in 3 months' time. Oh, jeez.
And then, like a week or two before, you get a letter come through. Sorry, we can't make it. We'll rebook you.
Yeah, or you're on the toilet on the day for like 5 minutes, and you come downstairs and there's that card in the door. We called, but no one was in, and you go, no, I was in. You didn't ring the doorbell, and you phone up the number on there, and they say, well, we can't get the van to turn around. You go, it was literally 5 minutes ago.
Yes.
The best one was that was Amazon. Amazon delivery is pony, which is why I cancelled my Amazon Prime, right? And the best one was I got an email. I was waiting in all day for a package. I got an email saying, we tried to deliver your package at 7:14 and there was nobody in. And this was at 5 minutes past 7. And I phoned up and I said... But they said, well, yeah, they tried to deliver at 7:14. I said, right, why don't you look at the clock? They went, oh, it's only 7:11. I went, yeah, do you notice that there's a discrepancy? Do you get? And they would always say, we couldn't get access to your property.
Oh,
and the people on the Amazon phone would go, well, that means that you probably live in a block of flats. I said, nope, it's a house. No. Right, was the gate locked? I said, no, I live in a house. There is a driveway. It is completely open. We don't even have a fence. It is impossible. Well, they couldn't get in your street. I said, it's a street. It is impossible for them to not get access to my property.
They just make excuses.
Oh, it's rubbish. Rubbish. And also, you see, anybody can deliver for Amazon now. It's just dodgy blokes hurtling around in vans. They don't even have any number on them or anything. Oh, I've enjoyed that little rant there, right? It felt good, actually.
Yeah, it does you good.
It does good, doesn't it? It does feel good. It does feel good. Anyway, anything else for us?
One more thing. Back in years ago, you used to get this, I think it was Scottish, cab driver used to call you up and basically he was like a real wet blanket. He just used to moan all the time. Who was he? Was his name Chris or Carl?
Oh, Chris! Did he? Well, yeah. Chris... Okay, gosh, blimey. Let me just clear my memory.
Sorry to bring him up. But...
No. Chris... Well, if it's the Chris I'm thinking of, he used to do a character years and years ago when I was on XFM, and this was 17 years ago.
Oh.
And he would do a character who would talk like that and let's play Clock Shop. Trevor.
Right.
But I don't... Did he call up as Chris? There was a cab driver called Chris who was Scottish I don't know what happened to him. I know he started slagging me off on an internet forum once, and I thought, nice one, mate. I tried to get him paid work, and that's how you repay me. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Yeah, because he used to say, like Ricky Gervais and, Sacha Baron Cohen, they're all doing well, and you're not. Why do you think that is, Ian? And,
Yeah, I know.
Like, all these people coming on making fart noises. Is it funny? No, it's not. Like, why do you bother ringing up?
I do. Ray, listen, thank you for that. What a strange thing to pluck from my past, but I appreciate it. Thank you. 0844 499 1000. This is Talk Radio. Darren, Kyle and John. Stay there. That's the order we're going to come to you. Yes, Darren!
Hello. Oh, hip, hip, hip.
What? Hang on a minute. Sorry, I was expecting a grown man, not a 15-year-old boy going through puberty.
You caught me, I was surprised.
Caught you doing what, Darren?
What?
What could possibly prompt that noise to come out of a man's mouth? The only thing I can imagine, if it's not your voice breaking, is your mum catching you tugging one out. No?
Sorry, was it that bad? I did say hip, hip, hip.
Yeah, but... goes Mum! Quick, hide it! Anyway, Darren, you're on now. You're on. We're alive. We're well. Everything is groovy, man. What you got for us?
Right. Well, first of all, I was going to ring in about Nielsen, but the guy the other day was saying he was writing down things, and your show just sends you off on tangents all the time.
Yeah.
Well, personally, me sends me off on tangents, and that your friend from Swansea. My life.
Well, it's not a friend of mine.
Yeah, I know. It was
yeah.
Jonathan, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the.
I think he loves that word, doesn't he? Misanthrope.
Yeah, he does. I'm going to get to Jonathan's soul.
You won't be able to.
No.
It doesn't exist. It's too dark.
We had a little sniff of his soul today, don't you think?
No.
You don't think?
I don't think he'll ever get to it. I think he's found that word misanthrope as a teenager and thought that's going to be me for the rest of my life. I think I found that word, and thankfully, like you, I like people. You know, even though it kills you sometimes, but it really depressed me. Absolutely depressed me. I was going to talk about Nielsen.
Yeah, you still can.
I've got one album by him.
Which one?
Nielsen
Schmilsen.
Schmilsen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the most popular. That's the one with Without You.
Yeah.
I
can't live if living is without you. I can't give. Oh, I went for it. I couldn't do it. I went for it.
You can't hit that note. It's an awful song. Isn't that an awful song?
No, I don't think it is. I think it's a brilliant song.
I think it's been misappropriated. That's the thing, isn't it?
Well, I think it's one of those songs that we've all heard too much.
Yeah.
Right, we've all heard it way too many times, right? And so, when we listen to it, when it comes up on the radio, we listen to it, we put it on, or it comes up on a compilation, we don't hear that actually it is a magnificent powerhouse of a song with a wonderful, breathtaking vocal. It's become wallpaper.
Yeah, that's it. It was Bridget Jones. When it was Bridget Jones,
I don't know. I don't know if it was in Bridget Jones, but I know that it was originally done by Badfinger, and their version isn't particularly good. And Nielsen heard their version, which isn't that great, and he heard something in that song that the guys that wrote it hadn't heard, and he went, I can do that song, and I can do it better, and I know how to do it. And I think it is just one of the most powerful songs of all time. Now, another song, right? Another song, and I think this is the version of it, another song that we've heard a million times, right? What do you think about Bridge Over Troubled Water?
Oh, well, I love the original. Yeah. Absolutely. I actually love Southern Garfunkel.
Yeah. Bridge Over Troubled Water, though, is another song that, along with, like, Good Vibrations and Yesterday and all these songs that are amazing songs, but we've heard them so much. And Bridge Over Troubled Water, to a lot of people, is the same as Without You by Nielsen. It means easy listening. It's smooth FM. It's musical wallpaper. And what they don't hear is the fact that it is one of the most amazing, powerful songs of all time. Now, Darren, have you got 5.5 minutes?
Yep.
Right. What we're going to do, I did this at another place, right? There is a recording of Simon and Garfunkel live in 1969, right? They've recorded the Bridge Over Troubled Water album, but they haven't released it yet, and they're playing a concert. And they introduce a new song. Now, you know what it's like when you go and see bands and they go, here's a new song. That's normally when you go to the bar or go for a wee.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But 1969, Simon and Garfunkel go, here's a new song. It's not out yet. Right? And they play, never been broadcast or on the radio yet. It's a song that no one's heard. And they play Bridge Over Troubled Water. Right? And the audience reaction is incredible because they quite quickly are aware that they are listening to something momentous. They are listening to a genuine, groundbreaking song, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play that version of that, them playing it live in 1969 to an audience of about 5,000 people that have never heard the song before. And dear listener, and you Darren, and you Kyle and Rashid and John, and you at home, I want you to listen to it and try, and this is impossible to do, but you can get close to it. Try and imagine you've never heard the song before. Imagine you are one of these 5,000 or so people sat in the audience here's a new one off an album we've not yet released. Oh, flippin' heck, this will be rubbish. Listen to the song Bridge Over Troubled Water as though you've never heard it before.
This is also one of our new songs. It's called Bridge Over Troubled Water. When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I will dry them all. I'm on your side. Whoa, when times get rough and friends just can't be found, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down. When you're down and out, when you're on the street, when evening falls so hard, I will comfort you. I'll take your part. Whoa, when darkness comes and pain is all around, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me Sail on, silver girl, sail on by. Your time has come to shine. All your dreams are on their way. See how they shine. Oh, if you need
the first time they've heard it, man. The first time. Imagine. Imagine that, Darren. It's the first time they've ever heard that song. And now, since hearing that a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah.
Since hearing that a couple of years ago, now, when I hear songs that I know are brilliant, but I've heard them a million times, I try and listen to them like it's the first ever time.
Yeah.
And you hear it. You hear the music.
Well, you're preaching to the choir with me when it comes to the song of the Garfunkel. I absolutely love them.
Well, I want you to go and do the same without her. Without you. No, without her.
No, what I was going to say about that Nielsen song was that I don't like that song. I don't. I don't think it's ever nothing's changed my mind with that. I think I've got too much history with it, probably.
Right, but this is what I'm saying, Darren. This is what I'm saying. Forget the history. Try and listen to it like you've never heard it before. His voice on that, Nilsson's voice on Without You, is as good as Art Garfunkel's voice on Bridge Over Troubled Water, and that is flipping angelic.
I completely agree. He sings it absolutely brilliantly. It's just that song.
Yeah.
Just drives me potty. You know the track after that is Coconut. Have you heard that?
Yeah, I know Coconut. Put the lime in the coconut, you mix it all up. You put the lime in the coconut, you mix it all up.
And I think that was in Reservoir Dogs, wasn't it? I think I used that. I think it was one of the Tarantino films.
Oh, I don't remember. Yes.
The best track on that album is Jump in the Fire, which was used in Goodfellas. Do you know that one?
No, I don't. I don't know the album very well. I'm working through them, Darren, chronologically. When I get there, I'll get there. Thank you for that, Darren. And thank you, of course, for the opportunity to play that. But this is what I try and do. The best one for me to try and do it with is Good Vibrations. Every time I listen to Good Vibrations, you go, oh, it's Good Vibrations, I know this song backwards. And if I have the time or the inclination, I really try and focus and imagine I've never heard it before and that it's a brand new song. And flippin' heck, it's rewarding. 0844 499 1000. Kyle, Rashid, Katia, you're next. This is Talk Radio. 0844 499 1000 is the phone number. Yes, Kyle.
Evening, you okay?
I'm all right, Kyle. What you got for us, boss?
Well, I was going to say too many things to talk about. The version of Bridge Over Troubled Water, I'd never heard that version before.
Isn't it good? And you can hear the thing. It's someone. It's on YouTube, right? If you want to get it, it's from a concert. There's a whole concert live 1969, which is joyous. And someone makes the astute point under the comments that when they go, this is a new one from our new album, you can imagine the audience groaning. They're thinking, I'll just sing The Sound of Silence. And in any concert now that someone played the opening chords to Bridge Over Troubled Water, everyone would go nuts. And there, it's met with silence. And then at the end of it, the audience know they've heard one of the greatest pop songs, one of the greatest American songs of all time. From any genre. And they know that. They know they've just witnessed something special.
But am I right in thinking there's not strings? There wasn't strings on that version, was there?
I think it was just the piano with a little bit of cymbal at the end.
But I love the version, is it of Sound of Silence? And they might have done it for Grenada, of all people. Because the original version of Sound of Silence was just sort of, it wasn't like it ended up being. Do you see what I mean? The
original version was just them, wasn't it? A guitar and them.
I think so.
And they recorded it, and nothing happened for 6 months. And then someone at the record company, I think it was Columbia, went, "Hey, there's this kind of folk rock thing going on. We've got that song with that duo, that Tom and Jerry duo. Why don't we put some drums on it and a bit of some other instruments and see what happens?" And it got released, and it obviously became a huge hit.
I think you're totally right on that. I think it was remixed. So the other couple of bits I had, one of which is very, very childish. But anyway, when you were talking about the bloke who picked his phone up and it sounded a bit like he was caught in the middle of something, didn't you used to have a caller called Fat Boy the Masturbator?
Yes.
Was that you?
We had Fat Boy the Masturbator, who was a fat lad who would phone up while he was masturbating. This was on Absolute. Yeah, we did, yeah.
No, I can't believe that. Isn't it funny how these things lodge in your mind? And the last thing I was going to say to you was, I'm so amazed about Jonathan tonight that for the first time ever, I had sympathy with him, and I don't like that. I feel really weird.
Well, those are feelings, and those feelings are, not liking that and feeling weird. That's acceptable, that's.
But it's Jonathan.
Yeah.
It just feels a bit, I don't know, dirty. I don't know. I just,
Everyone's got a story, man. Everyone's got a story.
Well, I think it's a similar, and obviously, I'm not going to, obviously, your show is not therapy, but I had similar growing up situation. It's really weird because it was a different conversation I would have had with you in three counties. But I've had, my upbringing was quite similar to Jonathan, I think, based on what he said.
Well, what's interesting, you're saying that, and this isn't a judgment on you, but I imagine that a lot of people, that some people will have projected their own childhoods on Jonathan. He didn't actually say a lot about his childhood. He didn't really say what his mum had done wrong, apart from not telling him who his dad was, and that was kind of all he said. So it's interesting you're saying yours was similar.
Yeah, no, that's the same thing, and I've a good friend, I think we both know, who might be listening. But being totally honest with you, exactly the same thing. My mum brought me up, whatever, never knew who my dad was, had a big falling out with my mother, and sort of totally disowned her, and vice versa. So it was just really weird. I just found it quite hard to listen to Jonathan tonight, but not hard against him for the first time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I find that very difficult.
It's almost as if, Kyle, I know what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? That's not a dig at you. That's not a dig at you. But a lot of people say, what is that Jonathan on for? Well, don't let him on for. Man, I'm here for 2 years, right? I'm playing the long game. It's almost as if I know what I'm doing. James Whale's going to be on Big Brother.
I know, I saw that in the papers today.
It's nuts, isn't it?
Well, it's funny because this sounds awful. And I don't mean this against you, because obviously I think the world of you, which sounds really weird. Yeah. But, it was really weird because it was like, I almost got the feeling that it's like, right, we can try and get Iain for this. It's like, oh, right, Iain can't do it. Can we go for another DJ? James Whale, he'll do it.
I could have done it. I could have done it. I went and had the meeting. I'm glad they didn't ask me because I wouldn't have wanted to do it. I would only have done it if they'd have offered it to me. I did go for the meeting. If they'd have offered it to me, I would have asked for a lot of money. I would have asked for more money than they would have been prepared to pay me. So, it wouldn't have happened.
But could I ask you 2 questions?
You can ask me 2 questions. I may not answer them.
No, that's fine. I would totally respect that. Right. So, in one way, I'll couch them together quite quickly.
Okay.
Right. Would it have been weird for you having done what you did on the companion show as the first bit? And 2, because people said it to me, if you'd have got in there, do you think you would have gone absolutely mental?
No and no.
Okay.
Because I know it's a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that it's a TV show. And I know how it works. And I know what they do. And I also know that some of the celebrities sometimes come out of the house. And I also know that people go in the house and explain things. So it's not as tough as they make it look.
But you don't need to do this. I know that's...
No. I'd always said no to these things, because it's kind of an indication that your career is over. But I'd have asked for £80,000. I would have done it for 60. And that is a lot of money. That's a huge chunk of mortgage paid off. Do you know what I mean? That's what I would have done it for. I wouldn't have done it for a career. I wouldn't have done it as to get back on telly and feed my ego. I would have done it because I want to pay off a big chunk of my mortgage. That's why. I'm going completely blunt about it. And I think maybe that came across in the meeting I had with them. I said all the things they wanted me to say. There are 2 things, right? The reason they didn't ask me. Well, no, it boils down to one. Of course. I'm not famous enough for them, and that's basically what it is. And I kind of knew that I wasn't. I was doing it to kind of get a gauge on my star, on my standing in the show business community, and I think it's fair to say my stock is a little bit lower than I thought it was. A little bit, not significantly, but a little bit. I don't have particularly high estimations of my star at all, but it's a little bit lower than I thought it was. And that's fine. Okay. And that's all fine, man. It's all groovy.
See, I don't know. I personally don't agree with that. I think from their point of view, sort of, because it is that sort of 90s culture thing, and people remember you from the 11 o'clock show.
Yep.
So and also because your profile was on Big Brother's Bit on the Side. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think people would have accepted you, but I think it would have been curious to see you in the house.
People would have. That's a different thing. People may have accepted me, but the producers didn't think I was a big enough catch.
And then you've got James Whale.
Well, apparently so. Well, James is good. He'll never come back here. That'll never happen. Huh?
Do you not think?
Huh?
Do you not think?
Huh?
Okay.
Thanks, Carl. 0844 499 1000. Yes, Rashid.
Iain, hip, hip, hip.
Hip, 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 Rashid.
How you doing?
I'm all right, man. I'm enjoying the show. I'm in darkness. There's no Periscope. There's no Twitter bothering me. I'm digging it, man.
Yeah, it's great, man. It's nice. It's nice because the other day you were asking how could you make the world a better place.
Yeah.
And I think I listened to that show, but I didn't have a chance to call it. But a lot of it was down. A lot of the listeners calling in, they were saying all media things that were making their lives sad.
Yeah.
Whether it was Twitter, whether it was newspapers, whether it was, internet. But the other thing I'd like to add to that is if I could change something, it would be the 24-hour rolling news. You know what I mean? That does my head in. Yeah, you can turn over the channel, but you know what I mean? You're just tempted to. Once you sit there, something's happened, and you turn it on, and you're watching it all day, and then you go in your car, it's on the radio, and
they feel that they have to fill the news with something. And I also think as well, when there is, for example, when there were, there have been so many terrorist attacks in France, I can't remember which one I'm talking about, but there was a terrorist attack in France, and some of the press got annoyed because the French authorities kicked them out of a certain area where there was a siege taking place. Yeah. And I thought, that's brilliant. There should be, when there is a siege taking place, there should obviously be a news blackout, because guess what? The terrorists will be watching it on their phones, and they'll know exactly. You get all these helicopter shots, and they'll know where the coppers are.
But you know what, Iain? You know what I like about today's show?
Yeah.
It's a place where, because there's many things I could talk about, and all this stuff that's going on and in my head and all that. But it's a place where we can just come and talk about things, about music, about different things. And thanks for that Bridge Over Troubled Water. I'm doing my deliveries. I've got my headphones in. I listened to that.
Yeah.
And I followed your advice. I tried to put myself like I've never heard it before.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about my family, and it did have me in tears.
Doesn't it? And it should do. It should have us in tears every time. But we've heard it a million times, and it's always on smooth. And when it comes on smooth, you go, not this. Turn over to Six Music, or turn over. And it's one of the greatest songs ever. Speaking of great songs,
but the other thing.
No, hang on a second, Rashid. Hang on a second. You'll get your time. Don't worry. I'm enjoying these long conversations tonight.
All right.
And Katie and Dave, you'll be next. 08444991,000. Speaking of great songs, I went to Tesco tonight to get some sweeties. I was a bit naughty, and I've crashed my diet, so I went and bought some sweeties. And there was some
advice about the diet. Yeah.
All right, there were some young men in Tesco, and one of them was singing, and the song was so catchy. I heard it once. I'd like to sing it for you now, if I may, Rashid.
Well, thank you.
Here we go.
Please. I'm not going to cry.
No, well, you might do. This is what the young man was singing in the sandwich aisle of Tesco.
Go on then.
When I put it in, my ting get wet. When you put it in, is it in yet? When I put it in, my ting get wet. When you put it in, is it in yet?
But Ian, you got to have it in the context. It wasn't by the cash point, was it, with his card, and it was raining?
No. And next time you hear that song, just imagine it's the first time you've ever heard it, and you're buying sandwiches in Tesco.
Well, I can't think about my family when I think about that.
No, exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly. Oh, go on, what you got for us?
Oh, Ian, my daughter's going abroad. She's going to work abroad.
Uh-oh.
So I was thinking of some songs to put on a little playlist, and that's going to be one of them.
When I put it in, my ting get wet. When you put it in, is it in yet?
No, man, it's my daughter. What are you on about?
Well, exactly. That's what I'm wondering.
Not my wife. You know what I mean?
Where's she going?
She's going to be a teacher in Dubai.
Flipping it. How old is she, man? If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, 24.
24, but still, so mature young lady, but still your little baby.
Yeah, well, she's my stepdaughter, to be honest.
Right. Okay.
I do tell her about your show because she suffers from social anxiety, but and it's a big challenge for her going over there. But I'm encouraging her. I'm encouraging her to do it because I know she can do it.
Oh, it's been an amazing experience.
Ian, guess what she said to me the other day? Because we've been going through some hard times as a family. There's been a couple of.
Did she say when I put it in?
No, Ian,
okay.
Ian, the opposite.
Okay.
She said to me, Rash, can I ask you something? I said, yeah. She goes, can I call your dad?
Yay!
Can I call your dad?
And I hope you said no.
Well, I didn't. I said, of course you can. But I said, as long as you realise, you've got you can't abandon your original dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you got two dads basically, and I gave her a pat on the head and a little hug, and I told her that I love her.
Well,
but it was a milestone, Ian, because we've been together since she was 6 years old, and I've been through all the teenage dramas and all that stuff, and we've got there. But can I ask you about? Hang
on a minute. What are you on tonight?
I know.
Jumping.
You see,
Jumping all
I'm
over
on my
the
deliveries, and I'm always like, rushing around.
No,
Even at home, I'm rushing.
Rash, you don't have to rush. Rashid, I'm going to call
Rash. I'm all over you like a rash.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to jump around here. When you said that, I had a big grin on my face, and I don't even know you. I don't know her. I've never been in that situation.
Yeah. No,
I had a big grin on my face. How did that make you feel?
It was a nice moment. I wanted to say yes, but I held it down, and my back was towards her, and I didn't let her see my reaction. And I turned around, and I had to compose myself.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't like a big scene. She described herself as Walter Mitty. She made me sit down and watch the film, and she goes, what I'm going through, I'm a bit of a Walter Mitty character.
Yeah.
So I watched that film with her, and I said, well, I'm glad we watched that film together, because now I understand you a lot more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm going to try my best. I'm going out with her I'm having a week off work. I've sacrificed my holiday. I'm going to go out with her and help her settle in to a new place, only for a week, and I'm going to come back.
Beautiful.
Hopefully she's going to get on with it. But I want to talk to you about my other son.
Yeah.
Because I think I kind of failed on that side. He's a 19-year-old, and he came to see me today, and I said to him, son, what are you doing with yourself? And he's going through the grumpy stage, He went from a very inquisitive child of asking zillions of questions. Dad, what about this? Dad, what's that? Dad, and people used to say, oh, you got too many questions. I used to say to everybody, leave him alone, let him ask as many questions as he wants.
Yeah.
But he's gone from that now to a 19-year-old. You can't get a word out of him. He's like, yeah, no, yeah. So I said to him today, son, what you been doing with yourself, trying to get conversation with him. And I told him, son, is there anything that you're passionate about? I want you to be passionate about. And guess what he answered to me?
Go on.
He said, what does passionate mean? He genuinely didn't know what the word passionate meant.
Wow.
I'm like, what has happened? I didn't react.
No.
I just said, I explained to him what passionate meant, and the analogy that I used, I said, Gordon Ramsay, when he's on about his food and all that, but he's passionate about the food. Right? So what are you passionate about? And he was lying on the sofa, and he goes, boxing. Well, he's not really passionate about boxing. But what it is here? Have you heard of the middle child syndrome?
Well, I'm not. I've heard of it. I'm not completely sure. I know what it means.
I think he suffers from that because, you have your first child and you're buzzing about your first child. Everything is great. You buy all the equipment. You buy all the the things. What you put them in. You carry them around. The bike seat. I had everything. And then the second child came around, and they obviously get all the hand-me-downs, and you've been through all the dramatic, all the surprising stuff. And then later on I had another child, and she was the younger child, so all the attention, and she was a girl, and it's all gone back to the attention gone back to him. I feel like I've left him out. You know what I mean?
But you go back to something you said. You've not failed, because if you say you failed, well, that implies...
He doesn't know what passionate's about.
Yeah, but if you're saying you failed, that implies that that's it over. It's not. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly.
You've got another... Well, he's probably got another, I don't know, 60, 70 years on this planet. You've got another, I don't know, 40, 50 years with him. You've got plenty of time.
Hopefully.
Plenty of time, Rashi. Rashi, one thing before you go.
Yeah.
When I put it in, my ting get wet. When you put it in, is it in yet?
Oh, man, that's going to be in my head all night now.
Yeah, well, put it in your head if you want, whatever you fancy. Speaking of putting things in heads, it's Katie, British Katie.
Yes, hello.
Good evening, British Katie. Have you had your scones and your hot chocolate?
Absolutely, and I sang God Save the Queen many times today.
Would you like to sing a song with me?
Not really, no.
It goes like this.
No, not the singing.
When I put it in, my ting get wet. When you put it in, is it in yet?
Yeah.
He was singing it in the sandwich aisle of Tesco. It's good.
Worrying. I understand that you've got difficulties with the geography in Belgium, or what people speak.
The Walloons.
Yes, the Walloons. It seems to me, I'm not certain because I don't really know that place. It seems to me that
you don't know Belgium, of course
no,
not.
No, I don't know Belgium.
No.
I wouldn't go there. Why would I, really? They speak French, I understand. Now, the Flemish, they speak Dutch.
Right.
And there's a tiny enclave in Belgium.
But Flemish is a language.
Well, but we call them the Flemish. Well, I mean, we other people.
Yes, people who come from Belgium, not you, because you're British.
Not me, no.
You're from Leslie Grantham.
Absolutely, they are called Flemish. The Flemish people.
But who are the Walloons?
The Walloons, they are down south. And they speak French.
Do they not speak Flemish?
Right, okay. And they also speak a dialect, which is called the Walloon.
So I was right.
Yeah. I can't say that. I was watching the news.
Yes.
When someone sent me a tweet and asked if I could help you, and that's what I'm doing. I don't know why they thought about me, really, because I know nothing.
You're British.
Well, yes.
From Leslie Grantham.
Yeah, I read the encyclopedia, British encyclopedia, with British words in it. So that's what I can tell you.
When was the last time you used a phone book to find a telephone number? Actually, a book, and flicked through and went down and found it.
I think when I moved to... I'd say 10 years ago.
Yeah, I'm going to say... I think even longer than 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really? Hey, if you go to a library, they still have got those ones.
They've got phone books in libraries?
Yes.
Well, so hang on. So some sad sack is going to think, I need a phone number. We got the phone. We put it in the recycling. We're gonna let me get the bus, and then they get bus hour into town, go all the way up to the second floor. Got phone books here. Got it. Right, write that down. They write it down, and then they go back in 2 hours, and by the time they get home, they're dead.
And then it's probably a phone book from 2003. So
surely everybody is ex-directory, aren't they?
Really? I'm not sure that I am. How does that work then? Do you have to ask for it?
You say, I don't want my phone number in the phone book.
Okay. Okay, I might have to.
You used to. If I've got this right, I'm sure you used to have to pay to be ex-directory. You don't now, but I'm sure it was only like posh people that would do it, because you had to pay a few quid. It's like 20 quid a year or something.
Wow, that's extortionate.
But you can find. I mean, I could probably find Bruce Forsyth's phone number if I wanted to now.
No.
It's probably online somewhere. It's probably on 4chan or Reddit or something.
You know a lot of things about radio.
Yes.
Right. how could I? Because I've got a bucket list just in case.
Yes.
Because the end is nigh, it seems.
Yes.
This is what I would like to do before the end is nigh. I'd like to do a documentary for Radio 4. How would you go about it?
Well, Katie, I would like to do a documentary for Radio 4.
Yeah, well, okay.
Yeah, but they won't commission it from me. So, the answer is...
Yes?
If you're... Right, let's go... Right, let's do a little tick list. Right, you're Radio 4, yeah? You want to do it on Radio 4? Right.
Yeah.
Are you a woman?
Yeah.
Yes, okay, that's a tick. Are you a foreign woman?
No.
Okay, so that's one cross. Are you a black woman?
No.
No. Are you an Asian woman?
No.
It's not looking good. Are you in are you in a wheelchair?
No.
Are you a lesbian?
Well.
Okay, I'm going to put that as a yes. So that's 2 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 2 out of 6, Katie. I'm really sorry. That's not enough to get a documentary on Radio 4 commission. I do apologise.
How many ticks do I need?
You're going to need 4, so you need to become either foreign, black, Asian, or in a wheelchair. I suggest being foreign and being in a wheelchair.
All right, okay, that's possible then.
Okay, fine. Then I'm sure Radio 4 would love to hear your documentary. Thank you very much indeed. Dave and Mike, stay there. Coming to you after this.
Talk Radio.
Right, another hour of this to go, dear listener. 08444991000 is the phone number. We'll call you back. When was the last time you used a phone book? I can't imagine anyone's used one this century, have they? This is the news.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Little fella, you're so tired, you can hardly lift your head. But you wanna hear a story before you go to bed. So if you'll be quiet and listen patiently, I'll sing you a song that my mother sang to me. Little cowboy, put your saddle in the barn, tie your horse up tight, so we'll know no harm. Put your hat and your guns beside you on the chair. Don't forget you got to say a little prayer. Little cowboy, you better hit the Sandman trail, or you'll be late for round the time, you know. If you wanna be a cowboy, you better rest a while. Little cowboy baby of the old corral. Little cowboy baby of the old corral.
Harry Nelson and the new theme tune to the show. This is Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio. 08444991000 is the phone number. We call you back. We do calls straight to air on a Friday night. Now, the last hour of the Friday show, we're certainly trying it for a while, is straight to air. The rest of the week, it's as per usual. Right, Dave is in France. Evening, Dave.
Evening, Iain. Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, 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 Dave. What have you got for us?
Yeah, you took me by surprise because I'm not actually in France. I'm on the other side of the Rhine, in a small town on the other side of the Rhine. I just used the work telephone number. I just used the work telephone to dial.
Oh, I see. So we think you're in France. Hang on, where are you? In the Rhine, Germany, then?
Yes, in a small a town called Ostenburg.
Die Ostenburg. Auf dem Deutsch.
Yes.
Das ist sehr gut.
Yes. So, didn't you, when you used to have the telephone directory, didn't you used to go and check to see if your family's name was actually in the telephone directory?
Yeah, we did actually. When we were kids in the 70s and the 80s, we would go and have a look. Oh, look, we're in there, the Rugvies. And we were very proud because normally we were the only ones.
and then check to see if all of your relatives were also in the directory.
Well, we didn't live near our relatives, so it was just us. We were the only Rugvies in the Slough phone book. But what a weird thing, when you think about it, a book with loads of phone numbers of strangers in, and you get this book for free. Well, why would I need all of these strangers' phone numbers?
I'm just basically looking up silly names.
It was ripe for phoning up someone, and because you'd know their name, you could prank call them and actually take real advantage of them, because it had didn't it have your address in it as well?
Yep. Usually you would have all the names and then all the addresses, so you could.
That's nuts. You couldn't do. No wonder the phone book is dying. I'm surprised it still exists, because you don't want anyone to know your phone number and your address, because then they can go and you can pretty much do anything with that information.
Yes. The real reason I was phoning up was to tell you about the Walloons in the Flems. So British Katie just beat me to that.
Well, she was talking nonsense. I think you give us the facts, Dave.
No, she was perfectly correct. The Walloons are the Belgium is basically divided into two: the French-speaking Walloons and the Dutch-speaking Flemish.
Yes,
it's wrong to call them Flems.
But the Dutch in Belgium speak Flemish. Do they speak Dutch?
Yeah, it's a slight dialect of Dutch, but it is Dutch.
Right, and the French the French are Walloons. Walloon isn't a language.
Walloon. Well, I believe the Walloon. Well, British Katie probably knew better, but I believe that it's, for example, it's all to do with all those old medieval kingdoms.
Oh, right.
For example, we live in the what was called the Kingdom of Swabia.
Yes.
I think we lost a lot when Germany became Germany, and we stopped having all these tiny little kinglets like Thuringia and.
I wish you'd done the second syllable of the word countries there, because that was awkward. I miss.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's but if those with sensitive ears would have picked it up. I miss the Berlin Wall.
My wife probably would disagree with that. She's East German. She's very happy that
she would, of course, she would love it. But I can't. And of course, it's good that it's gone. Of course, it's in the real world, it's good that it's gone. But I kind of miss the weirdness of it, the weirdness of the fact that there was this part of Europe, part of Germany, that was verboten, that was off limits. And I kind of miss it. I mean, of course, it's a great thing that it's gone. I'm not, I wouldn't want it brought back. But do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it was always slightly more mysterious to have all these Man from U.N.C.L.E. episodes.
Yeah.
Set in Bratislava and places which you couldn't actually really get to.
Yeah, yeah.
And nowadays you go, we could go to Bratislava on the train this afternoon.
Well, there you go, you see, how things have changed. I like the world when there was an air of mystery. Now you just got dodgepots and cowards going and beheading old vicars. You know what I mean? Oh, geez, tough guys, huh? Tough guys going and killing an 82-year-old vicar. All right, well done, guys. Great work. Well done. Hey, yeah, we got a target. Brilliant. Guys, who did you get? It was an 82-year-old vicar. What? Yeah, we went and stabbed an 82-year-old vicar in a church. Yo, you're supposed to show that ISIS are really tough and hard. You're supposed to shoot innocent people in shopping centres, not kill old vicars. Try again. No virgins for you guys. Hang on, we were promised 72 virgins. Yeah, but you did an old vicar in a church. That's no challenge. No virgins. We'll give you one haggard old tart, and that's it. Oh, come on, man. 0844 499 1000. Yes, Mike.
Evening.
Evening, Mike.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. It's hot. I'm going to be up early with the children tomorrow. I shall get, if I'm lucky, I will get 5 hours sleep. Then I'm up with the children all flipping day.
That's a pleasure. That's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. We all do that. We've got kids who moan to people.
Yes, it's a pleasure. You're right. You're absolutely right. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, it's a pleasure. No, it's an absolute pleasure. I'll be knackered, but it's a pleasure.
However, I am child-free for the next few days, and I'm having a lay-in. Well, I'm not a proper lay-in.
Oh, right, there we go. There we go. He tries to make me feel bad for moaning about I've got to look after my beautiful children, and then it turns out he's got a few days off. Part-time father.
Oh, that could be a sensitive subject. I could be a part-time father.
You could be, yeah.
For us, it hasn't. But I could be.
Yeah, it could be. You might still be.
Well, who knows? But tonight, it's actually for my child. I've been setting up a fish tank.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like the old days. They won't sell you fish without testing your water.
Really?
So I went to Pets at Home and said, I need a fish and some fish tank. And not some fish tank, a fish tank. So I picked the fish tank and said, okay, I'll have those fish. So no, you need to set up your fish tank, leave it for 3 days with all these things in it, and then we'll give you the fish. However, I've made a mistake. I've done a false economy thing. I've bought a cheap air pump. It is the loudest thing in the world.
Buy cheap, buy twice.
Well, that's it. I'm going to have to go back now and buy the silent one that was $3 It's £35 for the silent one. I'm going to have to buy it. I can't afford this racket.
I'm not very lucky with pets. We had 2 rabbits that died within a year. We bought them and it didn't last long a year. Both of them. No, sorry, if my children are listening, the first rabbit, we only had 1 rabbit. What am I talking about? We had 1 rabbit that ran away, and then 4 weeks later, I found him again, and he was a little bit smaller.
That is mysterious.
And then he died. But we had fish for the boys. What were they called? Rocky and Reed. That was it. And we could not keep those bloody fish alive. Couldn't do it. They just kept dying all the time.
Did you have a water pump?
We had like a filter, yeah.
Well, they say the fish I'm going to buy, they say they can last 8 years.
Yeah, they can. These didn't last 8. Honestly, most of these didn't last 8 days.
I don't know. I'll be writing a complaint to Pets at Home if my fish should do that. Although to date, the service has been exemplary.
They're good Pets at Home. They've always done me right when I've been in there. Pets at Home is a weird place because basically, it's a free afternoon out for the kids, isn't it?
You took the words out of my mouth. Yeah. It is. I take my little every Sunday night, every afternoon. There's nothing to do, and if I'm a bit skint, I was going to go see the animals. Yes, I pretend it's a zoo. She thinks it's great.
Yeah. And if any of the staff come by after like about 2 hours, you make noises as though you're deciding which one to get and which one would fit best at home. But yeah, it's a free. They should. This is where Pets at Home have got it wrong. They should have a little coffee shop. They might as well make a thing of it and say, look, we know that 80% of the people that come in here are just coming here so their kids have got something to do for 2 hours during the summer holidays. So here's a coffee shop. Here's cakes and sweeties for the kids. We might as well get a few quid out of people that aren't going to spend anything.
We could be onto a business here. We could, get a little, I forgot what it's called. You can rent a bit of a shop.
A little concession?
Yes, that is it. We get a concession. We could call it Iain, which is a mixture of Mike and Ian.
Mians are proud to be sponsored by Pets at Home.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm up for
Here's
that.
what you were saying earlier. You know, you said about the phone book.
Yeah.
You know the phone book you say, people can get your address.
Yeah.
The phone book has migrated online. There's a website called 192.com where you have to buy
Yeah, you got to pay for it.
Yeah, but there's many ways actually online. I guarantee people could find most addresses very easily online. If you start thinking a little bit outside the box, very easy to find.
Is it on the dark web? Would I have to go on the dark web?
No, I'm not doing this. I don't want to sound like a freaky stalker. I would bet I could probably find your address. Now, if I really look, I wouldn't do it.
What the heck? Well, if you can find it, that means ISIS can find it. And if ISIS can find it, I gotta be a target.
Oh, you're not a target. Well, you're not a target. You're not a feeble old man, are you?
Well, that's true. Can you believe, right? If you're right, I can understand why they wanted to get a Christian or a Catholic or a Christian priest, right? I can understand the symbolism of, it's Muhammad against Jesus, it's Islam against, Christianity. I can understand that, right? But why, get a fit, strong karate vicar. Don't get an 82-year-old man. And I'm not making light of it if anyone thinks that I am. Not at all. It is just flipping it, guys. 2 fit young men did this. They were fit young men, and the tough guys they did it in front of some nuns. Jeez. Flipping heck, guys, come on. If you want to show us how tough and how mighty you are, killing 82-year-old vicars in front of some nuns, flipping heck, do you know what I mean? It's nothing, not to disrespect their lives, but in terms of a challenge, it's nothing. It's outrageously weak and limp of them to do that. I mean, all of the targets are cowardly and are horrendous, but there's something about this that just seems, well, even more feeble than all of the other feeble, cowardly attacks. This one's got me properly angry. And I'm not religious at all, I'm not a fan of religion at all, but...
No, I don't know what to think about it. I do, obviously, the general feelings of disgust and horror and sadness, but you just get to a point, you just don't know what is the solution.
And there's also, and this is, all right, people are going to mishear what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it, all right? You get to the thing when you hear another terrorist atrocity has happened in Europe, and you go, it was only one person that died, so it's not as bad as the others. It's not as bad. I found myself thinking that today. I was only one guy, so it's not as bad as the others. Of course it's as bad. They're all as bad as each other, but I'm becoming so desensitized to terrorist attacks in Europe, I'm starting to do the maths about it and compare them I'm ranking them on the number of people that have been killed or injured, which is outrageous. And I'm glad I've said that out loud, because I need to be alert and I need to be aware I'm doing that, because I don't want to get into that mindset where I go, it's only 5 people, that's not that bad, because it is that bad. But I'm finding myself becoming desensitized to it.
Well, we are doing. I think we're all desensitised, and I think sometimes when you see outpourings of emotions, I think it's because people think it's what they should do as opposed to how they feel.
Yeah,
that's how I feel. I'm the exact same way. And I mean, like the one the other week with the lorry. Now that was horrific. There was some really stupid clips, and there's some really awful images on social media about that.
Yeah,
which shows them. But a lot of the times, you just hear somebody's died, and I think a lot of times it's without a visual impact. It doesn't translate into anything real.
Yeah.
Now, I would never go look for those images either, but until it has a visual impact upon you, it's just, really for me, it's just, I don't want to sound awful, it could be misconstrued, I sound horrible. It is just words. I know what they mean, but it doesn't really mean anything to me.
Yeah.
Mike, it's dark.
Yeah. No, it's all right. But it's 12:15 on a Wednesday night. We're allowed to get dark. It's where the mind goes. Mike, thank you for that. I appreciate your call. And there goes the last caller we have lined up. If you want to phone in and take part, you're more than welcome to. 0844 499 1000. I'm Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio. Now, I can't stop singing. When I put it in, my ting get wet. When you put it in, is it in yet? I mean, you were singing it in the sandwich aisle of Tesco. You just sat there singing it. And now, it's like The Ring. Seen the film The Ring? I've now got to pass. For me to be cleansed of that song, I have to pass it on to you lot. And I'm hoping it's worked. I'm hoping that one of you can remove that song from my head, because flippin' heck. Do you understand what I was trying to explain to Mike? I was trying to explain something. This show is more open and honest than any other radio show you'll get, because I will say things that will be misunderstood and be misconstrued. But I have already become desensitised to atrocities in Europe. By the maths. Oh, only 5 people died in that. Only. Isn't that terrible? Only one person died. That's few. Only One person died. And it's terrible that I'm thinking like that. And I guess I'm saying it out loud to see if any of you identify with that and can identify with what I'm saying. But I'm also saying it out loud so that hopefully I can catch that thought pattern. I can check that behaviour, and the next time it happens, and it will happen, I can go flipping it. One person died. That's outrageous. And there's something about this. It was an old priest in front of some nuns. It's just something about that. I tell you what part of what it is. 0844 499 1000. Tris and Andrew, stay there, be within a second. Is even though I'm not religious, there is something safe, sanctified. Is that there's sanctuary? The church is like a sanctuary, and I go into a church. I got married in a church, and I was in a church a couple of weeks ago because I felt like death, and I went and meditated in the church, and then I got down on my knees, and I pretend to pray. In California Dreaming, do they sing "I pretend to pray" or "I began to pray"? I think it's "began," isn't it, or is it "pretend"? I don't know. If anyone knows the lyrics to California Dreaming, 0844 499 1000. And so, to me, a church is a place where you go for sanctuary, and you go for, removed of the religious connotations. It's where you go because it's quiet and it's nice. Generally, they're nice buildings, nice to just go and sit and have a look at the roof and the architecture. Anyway, I don't want to dwell too much on that. 0844 499 1000. Yes, Heidi.
Hello.
Hello, Heidi.
This is weird.
Why? What's weird?
Having listened to you for so many years and suddenly you're on the phone.
Well, suddenly, you've called in.
I know.
It's not as if we've got the phone book and gone, right, let's find someone. Heidi, I've never spoken to her. Let's call her
bizarre. Up. You do know who I am, though, don't you?
Do I know who you are?
Yeah, I think you do.
Do I?
From Facebook and various other things.
Well, hang on, which Heidi are you?
Which Heidi? There's only one Heidi, surely.
Well, I know loads of Heidi.
Do you?
Well, which Heidi?
This one.
All right, Heidi.
This is going really badly.
Well, I don't know who you are.
Well, I know who you are.
Well, that's
all that matters.
That's terrifying. How do I know you?
Why is there no Periscope tonight?
Question neatly dodged. I'll answer yours if you answer mine.
I'm phoning you because I can't watch you.
Yeah. How do I know you?
I've chatted to you on Facebook, on the Facebook thing.
Oh, okay.
I came to see you on the Richard Herring night.
Oh, Heidi! Heidi! You should have said it's Heidi!
You still don't know, really?
No.
No. It's fine. I'm phoning you because no one else is.
Well, thank you for that. I tell you why there's no Periscope, right? Is because I just thought tonight's a weird night because Catherine's off for the rest of this week and next week, and I've got Emma and Ed who are doing an excellent job.
Oh, is she? Okay.
But I just felt a little bit lonely, and I felt I needed to make myself work a bit harder. So tonight I have decided, no Periscope, no Twitter, no Facebook, no texts, no emails. It's just a good old-fashioned phone-in radio show where if people aren't phoning in, then I'm not doing my job properly. And it's worked, and people have phoned in.
The last time I phoned a phone-in radio, I was about 6 years old, and it was Robbie Vincent.
Robbie Vincent! Flipping it on LBC?
Yeah.
Yeah, Robbie Vincent was... He's still alive, Robbie Vincent.
Is he?
Yeah, he is. He's very old now. Do you remember when Robbie Vincent did a programme on Sunday tea times on BBC One called Go For It? With a woman called Angharad Marsh, I think her name was.
I really don't.
1980.
I did, though.
It was about 1982, and it was about keeping fit and how to stay fit, and he was going to give up smoking.
And did he?
I don't think he did, no. Well, he's still got that raspy voice. He was good, Robbie Vincent. Yeah, I think he's working. I think he's still doing a radio show somewhere.
It was my birthday, and I was, for some reason, I was off school sick, and it was my birthday, and I phoned him and spoke to him, and Yeah, he wished me happy birthday, I think.
Did he know who you were?
No.
Okay, well, that's something there. Something we have in common.
I just tuned into you late tonight because I've seen someone tonight that I haven't seen for ages because I've been listening to you every night and you stopped me from seeing him.
Oh, so hang on. Who's this you've been seeing? Your man, did you say?
My man.
Oh, this is exciting. Suddenly, this is taking an interesting turn. You have stopped having sex with a man for me? No, you've not stopped.
You've been entertaining me between 10 and 1.
Hey! And he's not been entertaining you?
Well, he's not been allowed to.
Get in. Well, don't get in there. Well, that's... he must hate me then.
He doesn't know about you.
Oh.
It's all right, because his wife doesn't know about me. So
Heidi! Flippin' heck! That came from nowhere. Naughty, naughty Heidi!
Yeah, it's all good fun.
Well, it's very naughty though. So when do you see? So you're an old-fashioned term. You're his mistress.
I am.
Yeah, and you like that?
Yeah.
So when?
So much easier.
When do you meet up with him then for bunky?
When I'm free. When he's free. Okay. She's away at the moment.
Oh, God.
She goes away every now and then.
Right. So, and where do you go? Do you go to his house?
No.
He goes to yours?
Sometimes. We normally go to hotels, but he's been to my house tonight. I haven't seen him for ages because I've been listening to you.
Right. So hang on a second. So so that means you were late to the show because you were having sex with a married man. Let's not beat around the bush. I'm sure you've had enough of that already tonight. That's what's going on, is it?
It has been.
Wowzers. Well, you couldn't have listened to me in the background? I've got quite a sexy...
But do you know what I was doing during? I was bidding on a TV on eBay, and I won.
What, while you were having sex with him?
Yeah. And he paid for it.
Well, hang on a minute. So, right, so you're having sex with a man...
We bought a TV, yes.
While you were having sex with him?
Yeah.
And he paid for it?
And he paid for the TV, yeah.
Isn't that...
Not the sex. He didn't pay for the sex.
Well, no, he didn't pay for the sex, but he did pay for the sex because he's bought you a TV.
TV, yeah. So he watches TV and I don't. And he wants a TV in the bedroom and I don't.
Well, hang on a minute. If with the greatest respect, if you're a mistress and he wants a TV in the bedroom, you ain't doing your job properly. You're not doing your job properly.
Well, he likes to watch it when he's snoozing.
Okay. It does. The fact that he's bought you a telly does make it feel a little bit like a transaction has taken place.
You're looking for a word, aren't you?
I'm looking and I'm delicately tiptoeing around the word, but I'm going to say it. Prostitution.
No, it's not.
No.
It's been going on for a very long time. This is year 13.
Flipping heck, Heidi.
Yeah,
do you,
I wish there was some nice men like you around, but there isn't.
No, well, there, exactly, you see. I just didn't look to camera, even though there's no camera.
I know.
13 years.
Get me out of here.
Do you want him to leave her?
No.
No. So you're quite happy with this arrangement?
Yeah, sad but true.
Well, no, it is.
I think there are lots of people, but they just don't speak about it.
It is sad. Do you not want to be in a loving, supportive, equal relationship?
How often does that happen? Well, it might have happened to you. It's very lucky for those people that have it, but I see lots of people that don't have it. It's very secretive. Men are very secretive, and they're doing it, and they're not, they don't tell anybody, do they?
But, well, yeah, I take that point, but you're also doing it. You're also part
of... I'm single. I can do it if I want to.
Well, yeah.
I am cheating on the sisterhood.
Yeah.
I shouldn't do that to another sister.
Well, it's not the whole sister thing, but you are. Yes, of course, it is. I would say it's primarily his responsibility because he is the one that's married. But you are encouraging. Him to cheat on his wife. Do you not get any pang of conscience around that? No.
Occasionally.
Yeah.
Do you think bad of me?
No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't think bad of you at all. No, not at all. What? Do you? Supposing he phoned up and said, "Heidi, no, this has got to stop now. I've had enough of this."
I'd be heartbroken.
So you love him?
Yeah, but there's different ways to love people. You're allowed to love people without having them 100%.
That sounds really sad, though, to me.
I know. I have a very difficult relationship with my sons, and I'm a single mum.
Right, all right.
And, we've all got the sad story, haven't we? We hear it every night on this station, don't we?
Yeah, well.
I don't want to be the saddo, though.
Oh, no, I'm not, I'm trying to couch this so that I'm not making any... judgments
you're fine,
or anything.
honestly. It's fine. You're always fine. You're good.
What telly did you
I love
get?
your show, and I absolutely adore you and everything you do. And
well, everything?
I don't want to...
I've done some rubbish.
I know you don't like...
I've done some rubbish.
Really, it's gone a bit weird in the last couple of weeks. What's happening?
What do you mean? We had a couple of really bad shows last week, but apart from that, I think it's been all right. It's just evolving. It's just evolving and growing and changing.
You're okay with it?
Yeah, I'm okay. Are you okay with it?
I'm okay with it. I'll keep listening, whatever happens.
Yeah, I'm. We had two shows last week that I really didn't enjoy, but it's evolving, and it's completely different from how it was a month ago and from 3 months ago, and it'll be completely different in another 3 months, and we're not anywhere. We're still only firing on about 35% yet. You wait till we get up to 65, 70%. Boy, oh boy, this show's going to be something awesome.
Of course, it's always awesome. You've got awesome fans.
Well, yeah.
And great ideas. You're coming up with loads of different things at the moment. It's cool.
I'm worried about you, Heidi. You sound sad, and I'm late for an ad. I know. We'll go to the ads in a second. But
no, go then.
No, but
don't feel sad for me. I'm fine.
All right then. Well, I appreciate your call. What telly did you get?
LCG.
Beautiful. What size?
32.
Oh, so a small
it's
one.
Not massive.
You don't like a big one.
Fine.
You don't want a big one. You prefer a small one.
Mr. Average.
You like it average. You don't like anything too big in the bedroom, yeah? Is that right?
Yeah, definitely not in the bedroom.
Well, that's where the TV's going, and Heidi, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Take care, Ian. I hope someone phones after me.
They will do. We've got loads lined up. Heidi, thank you very much indeed. 08444991000. Yes, Triss, you're on the air.
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, hip, hip. Triss, what you got for us?
Wow, I wasn't expecting that call. That was interesting, wasn't it?
That really did. I don't remember, Heidi. I remember... Listen, I'm terrible with people. I remember meeting Victoria after Richard Herring. There were about 3 women I spoke to, so I know which one she was. I know exactly which one she was. Yes, I do. So I do remember. But this is what I'm enjoying about the show, Triss, is that I think it's improving. There were 2 shows last week that I thought were absolutely bloody awful, but that's fine. I think it's improving, and this last hour, which is now the podcast, is starting to evolve into something, I think very, very special. Very special. And the whole show is, we just dropped a call, whoever that other caller was, we're getting back. The whole show tonight has been just one lovely, Andrew, we'll come to you in a minute, one lovely meandering conversation.
Yeah, I mean, this week's been brilliant, I think. I think you've had a really, really strong week so far.
Yeah. So, which means we're due a dud.
Well, maybe. Who knows?
Who knows?
Wait and see.
Who knows? We'll see. What you got for us, Triss?
A couple of bits. I mean, I did have something I was going to phone in with, but as this show goes, you sort of go off on little tangents. Very quickly on ISIS, I've always thought that they're sort of media tarts. Do you know what I mean? That they do it for attention. I've always thought the way to truly beat ISIS, just stop reporting on them. Just whatever they do, just ignore them. I think they'd stop.
I don't think they'd stop. Interestingly, a significant number of French news outlets today said they wouldn't be posting broadcasting any of the videos. They certainly wouldn't be naming, this is the thing, they wouldn't be naming any future terrorists. Now, for that to work, it has to be all of the news outlets in a certain country. Because, supposing it was here, right? Supposing Sky said, right, any terrorist activities, we, Sky, will not name them, and that also applies to any Murdoch-owned newspapers, right?
Can you imagine that happening, though?
No, I can't, but this is what I'm just saying, right? But then the BBC would go, but we are still going to name them. And the Mirror would say, well, we're going to name them. Well, people would go to the BBC. So,
yeah, absolutely.
So for it to work in France, and a load of them have said they're going to do it, but for it to work in France, all of them have to say they're going to do it. Otherwise, it's pointless. But I agree. Yeah. I agree with you. I hated it when we called that fella, and I cannot remember his real name. We called that fella Jihadi John because it made him. I refused to do it. When I was at the BBC, I would ask that they would change the scripts and not refer. What was his name?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
It's almost making them into like cartoon characters, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Because Jihadi John, it is. It's like Penelope Pitstop. It's like Mohammed Emwazi. That was it. Thank you, Ed. It is. It makes them cuddly, characters, not the murdering psychopaths that they are. It's Jihadi John, everybody. And I thought that was outrageous.
I completely agree with you as well about the whole sort of, it's only one person, it's only this, it's only that. I think it's maybe our way of just sort of, I think we play the numbers game because I think we rationalise it in our head that if there's a bigger number, then if you were there, there's a higher statistic that you would have, been one of those victims, And I think that's why you sort of naturally play the numbers game, If it's only one, I'd have probably survived that. Anyway, I know you're short on time. Phone books is what I phoned in for, really.
Yeah.
My dad, when the phone book used to come out, he used to, because, he used to have the first initial and the surname.
Yeah.
Well, my dad's name's Douglas Adams.
Beautiful.
Same name as, not the author, the same name as the author.
Same name as Douglas Adams, yeah.
Yeah, and he used to get maybe a phone call a month, a couple of phone calls a month, and he used to list down different countries in the world that he got phone calls from, and he had like a little chart going, and he was sort of playing. He started playing a lottery to see if he could get every state in America. I think he got about 14 in the end. Yeah, and he used to have a lot of fun with that, but apparently he never thought it through.
The great loss about phone books is you can no longer see the world's strongest man ripping a phone book in half. I could have ripped the phone book in half that I saw today on the outside some property in London. I could do that. You used to get Jeff Capes ripping a phone book in half. Beautiful. Now that art form has gone.
Art form. I think that's a bit of a strong word.
Might be stretching it a little bit. You're right. Tris, listen, I've got to move on. I appreciate that. Thank you, mate. Sorry it was so brief. Maybe we'll speak longer tomorrow. 0844 499 1000. Andrew, I'll be coming to you after this. Well, we have two Andrews. Andrew in Leeds, you're second. Let's go to other Andrew, who I don't know where you're from. Hello, Andrew. What you got for us?
Hip, and indeed, hip.
That's the hip trilogy, sir. I'm in. What you got for us, boss? I'm sounding distant because here's a weird thing, guys. When I do the radio show, I take my watch off and I take my shoes off. The reason for this, I do not know. That means the number of times I've lost my watch, many. The number of times I've lost my shoes, 0. But I'm putting my shoes on while I talk to you so I can get out of here sharpish when it's done. Yes.
Right. I'm a podcast listener.
Welcome.
And the last one I listened to was on Friday.
Yeah.
But you had a Howard Jones best of you said you had a thing about the best Howard Jones tracks.
This is a song for all of my friends.
Yeah.
Challenging preconceived ideas. Whoa. Yeah?
But you missed out the best one.
What are you talking about?
Go on, name your three.
Well, hang on. So, don't crack up, bend your throw off your mental chains. Woo-hoo-hoo. That one?
No.
What is love anyway? Does anybody love anybody anyway?
No.
What was the other one? This is a song. No, I've done that one.
You missed one out.
Go on. What is it? I know I have. I can't think what it is.
You named three, but you missed one out. The best one out.
Oh, go on. What's the best one? What's the best one?
Like to get to know you well.
Like to get to know you well. Like to get to know you well, so we can be one. We can be one together.
You missed out.
How the flipping hell did I miss that one out, Andrew?
Yeah, see?
You're right. You're right. I missed the best one out. I'd like to get to know you well. I'd like to get to know you well. I'd like to get to know you well, so we can be one. We can be one together. And he's there playing the guitar and all of that stuff. Andrew, I apologise. I am human. I am fallible.
No, you're not.
Okay. No, you're right there. You're right. I am inhuman. I'm inhumane, and I am infallible.
No, you're a good bloke.
Oh, okay. Well, I got it wrong, Andrew. I apologise.
No apologies necessary.
Shall I cut you off?
Yeah, go on, man.
All right, then. Say goodbye.
Bye.
There we go. 0844 499 1000 is the phone number. Yes, other Andrew.
Hip times 3.
Hip cube, yes. It's hip to hip cubed.
Got accused of being a racist today.
Good. No, hang on. No, not good. Bad. Why? Were you racist?
Well, I'm racist because I pulled up in a car park.
Yeah. Was it a black car park?
It was a black car park.
Well.
And there were a couple of lads, a couple of black lads there, and one turned round and gozzed on my car.
They gobbed on your car?
Yeah.
Hey.
Right. So I got out and kicking off, like, what you doing? And he's like, well, I didn't know you were there. I was just going to spit.
He was doing a gob and you pulled up next to him was his excuse?
Yeah.
How likely was that excuse to be based in reality, Andrew?
It was completely unlikely.
Yeah.
So we're having an argument about this.
Yeah.
This woman walks out of Iceland.
Okay.
And then, completely not knowing what the situation is, she's the one that accused me of being a racist.
It was a black lad, was it?
Yeah, because I was having an argument with a black lad. She said I should be ashamed of myself for arguing with him. All right, and this is the best bit. He then turned around to her and went, "What's it to do with you?" He
had a go at her.
He went, "This ain't got to do with colour, love." I originally were having an argument. He's then sticking up for me, defending me that I'm not a racist.
This ain't to do with colour, love. This is to do with my ability to spit, and whether I'm an accurate spitter or an inaccurate spitter. This gentleman, this white gentleman, although it's irrelevant, has accused me of being an accurate spitter when I am a black gentleman. That's irrelevant as well. I know for a fact I am an inaccurate spitter.
It is. Were you there? Because that is it, word for word.
I mean, how heated? Well done you for getting out and having a word. Because I don't think I would have. I don't think I would have been quite so bold. How heated was the argument getting
between me and him? He was like getting a bit in my face, you know, a bit of bravado. But I stood my ground. I'm not like smallest person it was, but I'm not biggest either. So I give him as good as he would give me. But then she's obviously come out and seen instantly thought, oh look, here's another hate crime.
There's another hate crime to add to the list.
I'm stood there in the middle of this car park in Middleton, Leeds, pointing at a piece of gauze on my car going, it's about this.
Yeah.
It's about this.
What? Did he wipe it off with a tissue?
No, after he stuck up for me, I thought, oh, all right. Yeah,
I would have asked him to wipe. I'd have said, look, deliberate or not, have you got any tissue? Could you wipe this? What did you call it? Gauze?
Gauze, yeah.
Could you, black or not, is irrelevant, right? White, it's irrelevant. But could you wipe that gauze off my car? Because that is actually disgusting. That's what you should have done.
I know, yeah, I should have done. Hindsight and all that.
Yeah, hindsight, you see, hindsight.
Another thing.
Are you racist, Andrew?
Absolutely not, no.
Okay, just asking.
I've had an idea for a TV show.
Beautiful.
I wonder how do you go about, doing that?
Why is everyone phoning me up tonight asking how they can get documentaries on Radio 4 and TV shows commissioned when I've had neither for years?
You're like my only link to it, really.
Yeah, quite distantly, because I haven't had I can't even get picked to go in the bloody Big Brother house.
Yeah, but
I thought I was cashing in my chips. I had no chips to cash in.
Closest I've got, though, in, real life, I've got one friend who's got, 1,000 followers on Twitter, and that's as close to fame as I've really got. And I don't really like him that much, so...
Well, can you... listen. Is there music playing in the background?
Oh, yeah, sorry, it's FIFA. It's on...
I thought... For a second I got excited. I thought we had a crossed line.
No.
We didn't. You're playing FIFA in the background.
Yeah.
What is your idea? Can you tell us? Or are you scared someone will steal it? Because this is what happens, right? I don't go to TV pitch meetings. I don't go and meet producers and say, I've got a great idea for a show. I don't do it because I can't be bothered. It never gets commissioned, right? And the ones where it looks like it might get commissioned, you waste 18 months of your life working quite hard for no money, and then they pass on it, right? But I have been to meetings with commissioning editors at channels and producers at production companies and told them my idea, and they've gone, nah, we don't like it. And then 6 months later, I've seen my idea on TV. Now, you can't prove anything, because, it could be argued that, those ideas are just out in the ether and people had the ideas at the same time. It's the zeitgeist. But you do think, flipping heck. Flipping heck. I remember I was in the States, right, filming with this company, and I saw this brilliant show on there called So You Think You're Smarter Than a 10-Year-Old or something, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I came down to the producer of my show and I said, oh, I've just seen this show, So You Think You're Smart. This is a show we're doing for Sky. You think you're smarter than a 10-year-old. When we get back, I'm going to pitch it to the commissioning editor at Sky, because I think it will be great on Sky and I think I'd be great for it. She went, all right, that's interesting. What was the programme called? Oh, all right. And then...
Is that what they got Noel Edmonds to do?
Yeah, they got Noel Edmonds to do it. And it was made by the production company that I'd been out in the States filming with. And I'm sure that the woman I was with, it was delightful and gave me paid work, so I don't know, but I'm sure she would have sent a little email back saying, check out this show, So You Think You're Smarter Than a 10-year-old, it might be good for us. Dodge pots, there are a lot of them.
Well, my idea is like a sort of comedy about a stand-up comedian. It's called The Stand Down.
Oh yeah.
And basically, he's just terrible at his job. And one of the scenarios that I've just been writing is he sees he's looking at YouTube for some ideas, and he finds this funny Jewish comedian that he don't think anybody over here will know. So he plagiarizes all his work.
Yeah.
And but he accidentally gets booked for a neo-Nazi rally as an opening, and he's doing this Jewish act, and it all goes a bit pear-shaped.
Yeah.
So it's all like stupid things that happen, saying stupid things, accidentally being racist, accidentally being sexist and things you can imagine with a terrible stand-up comedian.
You'll have a job getting that one made.
Yeah, I thought so.
He said, writing down the idea and just wondering where I can sell that tomorrow. Andrew, I wish you the best of luck. It's a crappy business, and I've given up on TV, and I do bits and pieces, and it's all groovy, man. But Really, it's a load of old guff. Well, there we go. It looks like we can play a little song at the end. Song I'm going to try and make as the theme tune for the show. I just need to work out where it will pop up from time to time. It looks like we made it once again. That's the end of another show, and I quite enjoyed that tonight. It's sort of, if you'll allow me a little Springer's final thoughts. We're starting to head in the right direction, guys. We're starting to head in the right direction. A 3-hour show where I just kind of come in and sit, and you phone in and go, yeah, I want to talk about that. And we'll see if we can keep that going, because I think there's something in it. I think there's something in it, a show where there is no real structure, and we kind of talked. We had lots of nice callers tonight, lots of new callers tonight, and we had some women calling in, which is great, because it does concern me slightly that who was I talking to the other day? Talking to someone, and I told them what I did. And they went, oh, is it quite blokey? I went, oh no, it's not meant to be blokey, but we do have a lot of men phoning up. But I don't want the show to be a lad's show. In fact, Heidi outladded all of us tonight, I think. Stay tuned. Coming up, I'm guessing it's the 2 mics. I don't know for sure. Tomorrow night, or tonight at 10 o'clock, we've got Alan Shipton, who's written a brilliant book about my latest obsession, Harry Nilsson. Speaking of which...
Little fella, you're so tired, you can hardly lift your head. But you want to hear a story before you go to bed. So if you'll be quiet and listen patiently, I'll sing you a song that my mother sang to me. Little cowboy, put your saddle in the barn, tie your horse up tight, so we'll know no harm. Put your hat and your guns beside you on the chair. Don't forget you got to say a little prayer. Little cowboy, you better hit the Sandman Trail, or you'll be late for round the time, you know. If you wanna be a cowboy, you better rest a while. Little cowboy baby of the old corral. Little cowboy baby of the old corral.
Talk Radio. 24-hour radio debate and entertainment.
Talk Radio.
We'll get you talking.